4, the community coming together and passing all 3 bad things. The loaded gun has been unloaded. All the bad things have been diffused. So the tree is not burned down, the heartstone is not destroyed, and the eye has not opened any further. So everyone has successfully done that. I promised that all of the players would get a benefit. There'd be a big benefit if everyone was able to do that. And I decided, and kind of had it already planned out, that every player should get a bullet, which is always fun to me. So each of our players, including Morgan, who is not here tonight, you may add 1 point of true inspiration to your character sheet. For anyone who's played with me before, this will mostly be for Bucky. I don't run inspiration as advantage, disadvantage. I think that's the most boring thing in the world. I think when Perkins and the rest of them created the inspiration system, I really think they had grandiose ideas in mind for how inspiration should work. So for everyone who is new to my games or new to seeing me DM, the way that I run inspiration is literally as a do cool shit button. So if there is, we've had it in the past, some examples being, I really want to succeed on this roll. I use a point of true inspiration. It happens. Fate finds a way. The thing happens. The rules of the world change. They are literally, for me, in this scenario, or definitely this campaign, points of true inspiration would be a seeker of Galanti or any of the Chosen tapping into that ethereal mass that is in the Realm Weaver's domain. Something that literally bends the fate and changes the outcome of something that was preordained. So with that as well, in the past we've had things, automatic successes are always cool. Ability increases, things like that. If you have a training thing that you're like, hey, I kind of just want to be like, I'm suddenly really good at this, and rather than spending months and years or whatever, you could just say, I'm going to burn my true inspiration, get this thing now, get this in-game benefit, cool to go. We've had in the past people who wanted to wield a weapon or an item that they did not meet the prerequisites for, and true inspiration made them that 1 in a million son of a bitch that could do it without the prerequisites. All kinds of things. I really like to leave it kind of open in the air. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm a big Green Lantern fan, so obviously I have the same idea of the power of creation and the idea of willpower trumping reality. So yeah, I like to extend that to my D&D game. So, community, our players will thank you, I'm sure, but each one of them will be benefiting from a single point of true inspiration. When they spend it, if it is off camera, I will make a post about them spending it. If it is on camera, hopefully it's something inventive and not just whatever. Or it could just be, fuck it, I want an extra hit dice of hit points, or who knows. We'll figure it out.
Fortune dead.
I mean, you could be that guy and see how it goes.
Waste my inspiration to bring Fortune back.
Yeah, exactly. So Colt spends his and Fortune croaks, and then Vel uses hers and Fortune rises a third time, and that works for me. So yeah, that's cool. That's cleans up everything in a nice little bow. We're about 30 minutes into the stream already, and that was a lot to blah, 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 blah kind of thing. And I like to say it again, true inspiration for me is the idea of creativity and something just happening. Many people who play are very much into anime. Every anime has an ass pull. Let's give D&D characters an ass pull. They deserve it. I hate the idea of just like, well, I've got advantage already. Can I use my inspiration to get more advantage? That's the stupidest fucking thing in the world. So you got to make it cool. It's so easy to get advantage in this game. There's a spell that does it. Fucking Fairy Fire does gives you advantage and shit. The help action does it. Why is inspiration this like mythical thing for good roleplay? And it's just like, oh, you can roll another dice. Okay, cool. Like stupid. Yeah, true. Yo, I looked at chat. Whiskey, you leave TS out of my chat. I will ban you for 4 seconds just so you do not invoke the name of the worst cantrip in this game. Ugh. Gives me shivers. Shivers my timbers, it does. All right. So yeah, I'm done jabbering. Colt, Bucky, Orville, JJ, Vel, anything to announce, declare, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, everyone's lives getting good. Yeah. Nice
I got my braces off.
Get your braces off. Let's see those teeth. Wait. Oh wait. Sorry, Orville. Can we look at her teeth? Okay, cool. I didn't want to like deprive an OnlyFans or something. I don't know what the future holds now that she's got perfect teeth and perfect complexion and her hair, and she already has a bunch of female simps. I just didn't know. Okay, cool.
Hey, can't use that word, remember?
Yeah,
Right.
you're not allowed to use that word.
It's not derogatory. That's a good thing. That's a strong business venture. Teach a man to fish and you've lost a permanent business opportunity. Get that man to simp for you while teaching him to fish and you've maintained the business opportunity. It's just smart business, and anyone who does it, good for you. I grew up on waifus, man. It's the same shit, right? They're just real and you can hand them money. Good for you. Why is that derogatory? Yeah. And the other word that got banned on Twitch, I won't say, but again, really useful. I don't know why it's an insult. So many witches' rituals do not work without that V word. So it's a good thing. In 2021, I need to bring back and speak to a dead relative. The volcano god ain't going to take a hoe, but they can take a V word. I'm just saying, if you want to please the volcano god 2021, throw a V word in there. Okay. It worked back in the day. The Mayans did it. And look how good they were with calendars. So just saying it works. Okay. So yeah. All right, let's see here. Wheel of Morality, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn. Belle, please tell us what happened on our last episode of Second Wake.
Oh, I have to remember things past this last Saturday.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
I
Wham.
hate you right now a little bit.
Yep.
I kind of just want to sit here today.
You ain't wrong.
Okay, last week. We'd all expounded as much information as we felt like revealing from our downtime, what we gained, what we did, who got attacked by a giant bird, who didn't, normal stuff. Then we had a nice discussion about copyright and having a really good name that we can brand. And then we went to talk to the lady, and she presented with us 4 options. And we were afraid to talk in front of her, or at least Bucky is. So we went outside into the hall for like 5 minutes to discuss the options and decided to head to assist the King of Silverhearth with a filling of his hole.
Oh, God.
It's not wrong.
I mean, no, but technically the hole is filled.
Kin's plummet, I guess vast crevasse somewhere in his lands, has had a massive structure inserted into it or erupting from it.
A large, dark, black structure has filled Kin's plummet.
And monsters are popping up around there, as often does pour out of holes after they get filled.
So far, so good.
And so we're gonna go there, and I probably don't have his first name correct, but meet up with Sensen Lemire, who's a herald of the king. We've got a month to do it, and we decided to go by land. So we'll be heading out shortly on a cart with some goods from the lady to be delivered as well, because why not take care of 2 birds with a few stones? And then everyone else got their nonsense removed. I didn't, because I am just kicking shadow demons in the dick and waiting for it to bite me in the ass. But we met a lovely... I don't even have her name written down. No, I do have her name written down. Priestess Janessa, after we went to the park to get everyone removed of their shadow bullshit. Except for me, because I like shadow bullshit.
Sounds about right. But long and short of it is Priestess Janessa. That's the only thing I think I missed otherwise. But yeah, you guys got your stuff done?
That's not her name.
Oh, okay. My bad. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. We're good. We're all caught up. During downtime, we had just kind of the remainder of the day. Anyone have anything to declare that they did or accomplished? Bucky, what do you want to say? You tell the home audience.
Yes, I'm going to tell everybody.
Rude. I'm getting
Um,
tattled on.
So Bucky was a little dismayed that nobody had tried to do anything about Lamont, and so he decided to take it into his own hands, and he bought a pot and some soil and mixed Lamont ashes into the soil and planted a tree, and then used Druidcraft to germinate this seed. And as he did that, he felt a strong druidic energy exit his fingers, and the seed came to life. So hopefully soon we will have a little Lamont Groot plant, or maybe not. I don't know.
And you think I'm a monster?
I'm just turning people into plants. No big deal. Happens.
That was beautiful. Shut up, Vale.
Reincarnated as an oak tree, hopefully.
When a tiny tree is running around screaming, you tell me how beautiful it is. Because I think
Wait
it
a minute.
is.
So
And I'm gonna love it.
Bucky decided during
That
his
is your
downtime
way in life.
to get a pot, to get an acorn, to get some soil, and to plant a collection of Lamont's ashes into the soil and allow his Druidcraft magic, his Warlockian Druidcraft magic, to germinate the seed and commence it to begin to grow within the potted plant. It wasn't implicitly stated, but I'm sure Colt has watered the plant with his tears. So that's a good thing. Yeah. Anyone else want to share anything they did in downtime?
I didn't do
Uh,
anything because real life shit on me.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. When you get shit on, you just gotta wipe it off or get really into scat.
Just T-posed the whole time.
Yeah, you know. A minor car accident while T-posing.
Yeah. It works in Cyberpunk. That's how you drive in Cyberpunk. You T-pose out of the top of it. But we are glad you are very safe, and hopefully everyone's good to go. Yeah. Okay. I think everyone good?
Oh, yeah.
Go for it,
I
JJ.
wasn't sure if
Yeah.
everyone was done. JJ went to go visit some friends down at the Grammaton, one of the Grammaton taverns, and she ran into one of those other houses, the one we don't know a lot about. Gosh, I'm forgetting their name. The council or Newark.
Hmm?
The Newarks want a seat at the table, and she went to talk to that lady and got some insight on them finally.
Anything to report?
Well, they they control a lot of the shipping, but they don't really believe in weavers being beholden to masters per se. So, like all of the houses, they'd like weavers to be able to choose their own journeys entirely. It was kind of interesting. But they really don't like Ferosa, so...
Many people get in line and go, yeah, okay.
Are they Italian Americans since they're from Newark?
Ooh.
You know, it's a good question. Don't know their accent.
I didn't do the accent, yeah. It's
Listen
great.
here, kid. You do whatever you want, all right? Now get out of here. Go grab me a pork sandwich.
Yeah, we just want to introduce the concept of unions. You know, unions
you
a real good
know.
thing. We'll break up some monopolies. Hey yo, call this a pastrami on rye? Jeez, forget about it. All right, cool. Anything else to announce past that? Good to go. Everyone good? Cool. So day falls tonight. The day ends after you all are cured of your, for the most part, all but one, are removed of their connection to this otherworldly phenomena, this anchor to another side. They've been informed by the priestess. The group has shopped, collected a number of small sundries. Wow, that allow. You can say forget about it. That's fine. Oh, because it says FAG. That's why. Okay. So with that, yeah, you guys all gain a long rest. Having stayed in the city of Diarwood, now for a number of days. You all have kind of regained a lot of what has become a natural life. It's done you some good to take these last 3 to 4 days within the city walls, within a sense of safety, not having to always lock your doors at night, not having to worry about a watch schedule, just mundane stress from time passing within the safety of a known city, within the safety of your own homes. You each can opt to regain a single point of sanity, so long as you're not dwelling too much on the horrific events that led to it, but it is just a natural course and cause for healing. You all also successfully complete a long rest, so spells are restored. Hit point pool or hit dice pools are gained half of the total hit dice in your pool. Your hit points are restored to maximum. Any lingering effects are gone if they have a conditional such as that, poison, blah, 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 blah. This, that, and the other. But you all wake up bright and early. You can hear a number of things. Many of you, as you're preparing in the morning to get ready for your upcoming journey, you all can hear the kind of banging or otherwise dropping of materials outside of your doors. For any of you who unlocked your door and check, you see servants leaving small satchels outside of your domicile, we'll say rooms. Inside of each of them is a bundle of various rolled parchments, all matching. Documentation, as the lady had been or had discussed about you or discussed with you all, denoting your kind of working orders, the fact that you are the Seekers of Galanti, papers certifying and ratifying the name, as well as stating that you are official members working under the House Galanti. Along with that, you see a number of documentations that includes what appears to be a manifesto or a collection of goods that are going to be embarking with you on this caravan. The keen-eyed of you note that there are a number of general ideas that are listed in there, rather than stating implicitly things there. You note many of them just list the weight, so it'll say like 50 pounds of miscellaneous gems. It'll say uncut stone. It'll say a collection of various sundry goods, and you kind of look it over, and the weights all seem to be very specific, but the actual like one-for-one items that appear to be listed in this manifesto are pretty much as generalized as allowed. But you look over the documentation and it seems to be all in order. It does note that you'll be traveling with a group of 12 individuals known as the Talon Hands. They are the Talon Hands shipping company. And you note that their leader is listed as Helsa.
Bucky brings Lamont plant with him.
Okay. You bring out your small potted plant with a germinated and budding acorn root growing from the top of it, and you bring it with you. It fits neatly in the crux of your arm. What's your strength?
8.
8. It fits neatly in both hands, very delicately, as you struggle to lift this several pounds plant at this point, as it's mostly just soil.
Is there a way to fix it to my pack?
It could replace your pack. Like, I assume the straps would probably run. Like, when you asked for a pot, I was assuming like Legend of Zelda style, like we're gonna grow a real plant out of this. Not like I went to the Home Depot because lol, that's my aesthetic. I thought like legitimately.
You
Yeah.
literally
Small-
wanted the
small
dancing Groot out of the little pot.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
a little
no.
pot.
You said acorn, and I went, "That's a tree, dog. That's a big ass tree."
Well, you can start an acorn in a small pot.
I mean, you can if you're a fuck boy, but I assumed you're smart. You start big, that way there's enough soil and resources that you can till with Druidcraft, so that the plant never has to be changed out of its pot during its growth cycle before it's transferred into the earth.
He's got druid magic. He can already do that.
He can do that. You're expecting me with Druid magic that this plant is not going to outgrow this hinky-dinky little shot glass size pot inside of like 2 days?
Once it gets big enough,
He
it can
could-
just walk
he
on
could
its roots,
bonsai it.
right?
You could bonsai it with druid magic. Fuck.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
right. Yeah, I'm gonna carry it with me for now.
All right.
Just
I stand
Yeah.
by. It's a big ass pot. It might if you
We
s-
do have a
if you
card for
smash
you to
it.
put that on. Hopefully there's a small spot.
If you smash it,
If we get in a fight, I'm
Oh,
gonna have to set
fuck.
it down.
yeah, according to Legend of Zelda rules, I have to inform you there could be rupees inside. So, if you find an elf with a sword and a
Good
shield,
thing Morgan's not here.
yeah, an elf with a sword and a shield might be compelled to smash the pot upon sight. So, just letting you know now, that's the dangers of traveling in a fantasy world. I just want to make that linked connection right away. So, there we go.
You'll hear him screaming and rolling up the hill from
Huh?
miles away, though.
Hut, 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 hut. Ching, 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 as he blocks. All right. So yeah, you all collect your paperwork and documentation in these small satchels that have been provided to you. You note that on each of the satchels, there is the house crest of Galanti embroidered upon them, but there seems to be a staggeringly large empty space between the sigil and the top of your actual satchel, the house symbol at least. It looks like there's probably a blank space for someone to sew in a patch that would likely further identify you, however you wish to do so. Probably want to hire an artist or somebody inside of the city to maybe design you a logo, or get on a couple of crafty bards who are going to be able to promote your brand and give you some likes on YouTube and get you some plus ones in the taverns. But that's up to you guys. So yeah, it's a blank spot, just so you know that it does exist.
Or Colt could draw it.
Oh
And
yeah,
he does such a good job drawing.
That's another thing, folks. If you win this raffle next month, you could choose Colt as your artist, and
I'll do it.
yeah.
I'll do the shit out of it.
It'll be bad.
I won't charge you anything.
Oh shit!
I'll
Don't
do it
that.
for fun.
Oh god. Colt gets all the commissions for $0. Like, I want this.
They're going to be in my style though.
Oh my god.
Just like Bell.
Don't say that, because there was a guy a while back. Sorry to be on a tangent. There's a guy a while back who did that. He offered, like, I'll draw a cat. Like, you just tell me what kind of cat you want, and he drew them on like sticky notes, and they were just terrible. But people started paying him like $7 a piece for them, and he like blew up, and it became like a whole business where he would draw like these shitty doodles, and people were like astounded because that was his style. And I'm like, okay, anyone can make it. It's just the truth of the world. So yeah, you collect your satchels, however, and you guys enter into the kind of, at this point now, somewhat packed dining hall. And you note there are not only the static, but a number of other individuals, series of kind of a sea of familiar faces, people you might not have had strong interactions with from time to time, but various other members of the house who are also enjoying breakfast. Many of them, you note, have large leather pressed maps laid out in front of them between their groups, and they seem to be plotting courses or discussing things that they'll be soon exiting the estate for. As the lady made no allusions to, this is definitely the busy season for many of those who call themselves chosen of the house, and no doubt the lady is not one to take on more work than she believes that her chosen can be accommodated for. So many of them are embarking on the various missions and quests that maybe you thought were beneath you at a certain point. But today's breakfast is a healthy, fresh serving of flapjacks, fresh picked berries and a collection and assortment, and fresh maple honeyed yams. There we go. Oof, Jesus, that was hard to get out. As well, a small collection of breakfast wines, as well as steamed milk is being served. So that is the breakfast for this morning, if you so choose to enjoy it. Or you can be that weird guy who's like, I'm eating rations. Gotta steel myself for the journey ahead. I'm gonna eat rations.
Are you making fun of me? It sounded like you were imitating my voice.
No, I would never.
The voice in the sky.
Would I?
Whoever said that?
your dear narrator.
Stop talking to the voices in your head.
I'm not kidding when I say this. Somewhere on that on those insanity charts is literally just says stranger than fiction, and that's literally what happens to you.
I'm sure.
You just start hearing
I know how
narrator
extensive
every
they
time.
are.
Good. That'd be so good.
You think so? You think it would be?
Little does he know he will fail his roll and fall off the cliff. What are you talking about?
What role?
Roll? I'm gonna fall off the cliff?
Oh, fun.
Maybe I'll stay away, Trips.
Ah! All right. So, yeah, you guys are able to enjoy breakfast. Anything you guys want to accomplish before setting out on your journey? Anything you want to address as a group? Anything you want to discuss? The time is now for that. I will be right back myself, but the floor is open to you guys. Feel free. Anytime. Oh, wait. If nothing, then I'll just move on instead.
I mean, I'm just munching.
Did
Munching.
anyone want to? There was some inquiry about it, talking to the static about the area we were heading to.
Oh yeah, we should. We should get some information.
Oh, then never mind.
If you gotta go, we can
let's go
just
see.
figure something to talk about.
No, that's all right. We're good.
How about them pigeon players? The pigeon game, pigeon baseball. It's not baseball because that doesn't exist in this world, but the pigeons.
No, there's a national sport that exists within the Everwield. If that's something you wanted to talk about.
Would Colt be a sportsman?
Oh,
Is it grub
he
ball?
would.
it is not grub ball. I am gonna wholesale just say that baseball does exist here. It's a real thing. Magical bullshit baseball does exist here.
Of course. Of course.
That's just too much fun. If you haven't already, check out Blaseball. It's a tremendous online game about real fake baseball. And it's super great. It's a lovely community, and you need to join Unlimited Tacos because we have some of the best pitchers in the league, including Pitching Machine and Sexton Wheeler. Super great guy. That's my small shout out for Blaseball.
Or do you have a map, Mr. Map Man?
Do I?
Yeah.
DM?
Why not?
Yeah.
You have a kit.
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
Or we'll go ahead and pull it out of his pack and roll it out along the table, and then pick up his plate and use it to weigh down one of the corners that's slightly curled.
Use your hand on one side, plate on the other.
It seems that once we get to like Fort Ebony, that we could take one or two ways. I don't know which way. One of the ways looks a little shorter.
Let's see if I can fix these.
Yes, I would think so. Going north of the lake and then south down to Silverhair.
Well, the Talon hand livery people, wouldn't they know better? They're more likely to know the most direct route and safest route, I suppose, maybe.
Sure thing. I just never been on a long journey on foot like this, so you know.
Just gotta wear good shoes. Keep your socks dry.
Yes, I'm certain the Talon Hands will be able to have some insight into the path we should take, but it's good to be familiar with it on our end as well.
Is there anything y'all wanted to ask of the static before I head on over there? Or
Well, mostly just what they encountered down there. If they have any idea. I think
they didn't. We don't know
oh,
that they
sorry.
necessarily encountered a creature or anything. They said that whatever the person was carrying on them took care of the problem.
Yeah, but supposedly, I mean, according to
And they were
Galanti,
counterfeiters.
they left very promptly. Whatever erupted, and getting a little more information before we approach something like that would be helpful, especially a first-hand account of it. And I mean, I think I think Dagrin and I share a pretty close, a good rapport. I don't know if any of you guys have any sort of good relationship with any of the other ones in there. But I could discuss it with him. I think he'll be fairly honest. He's been honest with me so far.
That's fine with me.
I mean, I don't know any of them too well. Sounds like Jagrin's our best bet.
Yeah, he sounds like a good bet. I'll go over there with you though, Colt, if you'd like.
I would appreciate that. I'm not always so good at talking, so may need a little bit of help.
User.
So the pair of you are going over to talk to the static?
Yep.
Okay, easy to do. Turn that off. Bam. All right. So you head over to the group known as the static. You see many of them plotting out their course. You can hear their leader. Let's pull up my stats real quick. You can see the leader Quellen speaking. Yeah, well, personally, I do think that it might be in our best interest to, well, chart a full voyage. We might want to go by the river. We could go past Wren's Fork, continue on southward, and then transfer to a much larger vessel so we can reach that far south. Personally, I think that it would behoove us to, well, manage this voyage. We have a good amount of time to do it, and being that we are not the first ones to accomplish this, we might want to be as well stocked and prepared as possible. As he's like pointing on the map, he's like drawing his finger across it to kind of show off the various kind of path of water that continues down after he gets from Fort Dusk and further down. You hear a number of people kind of raise objections, including them Blair, one of the kind of the mystic of the group, calls out, and she kind of says, and she goes, "Personally, I am not a fan of that. I must insist that we use teleportation to arrive further south. The journey will take far too long by ship, and we don't know for how long we should be expected to be away." And they kind of like go back and forth. Once you both walk up, their conversation kind of quiets down, and their leader looks up and looks to the two of you and goes, "Ah, if it isn't the..." Well, what was it now? And you hear kind of a somewhat of a cocky voice goes, "Oh, the the Seekers." Or wait, no, it's just Seeker, right? No, the what a their mage kind of jokes to himself about that. The leader kind of gives him a stare of daggered eyes, and then looks to the pair of you and goes, "Apologies, Seekers of Gulanti. Yes. How may I help you? We're just planning our course here for our newest endeavor. I'm sure you all are much of the same at this point."
Yeah, and we wanted to ask if we could get some more information. We're headed to Silverhearth, to sort of purvey, $5 word, the area and what had prescribed out there.
I think what he's trying to say is that with y'all's last mission, we're just trying to see what kind of stuff y'all may have encountered, because we are gonna go check out that Kin's plummet situation. So anything's really appreciated, y'all. Truly.
As you say this, you see a kind of a look of worry or distress go across many of the faces of the static. Many of them seem to be not only worried by this news, but further worried more or less for what would likely be your safety as members of the house. The first one to speak is Dagrin, the Duragar. He kind of goes there and goes, "Well, how do we best see this? Colt of Katanis. We were there to, well, seek out these counterfeiters for jewelers that existed well past Ven's Fork. In doing so, we chased one, as you well know, and in the chase, the final counterfeiter was dealt with very swiftly by an item of his own persons. The item itself was not one that we were able to examine, nor could we find his corpse. We more or less gave up and assumed that everything went to Tasca. With this, we are, how to say, expectant enough that the problem was solved and that the mission was done. As many of you are aware, we don't work for free, and with that, we want to ensure that, well, we could arrive safely to the lady. That being said, the darkness and foulness that erupted from that was enough to chill me to my bone. And I would very much say that you should take in every experience you can across the road, for you will need them to stead yourselves against the plummet. What has erupted from this is nothing more or nothing less than the magic and sign of demons, or some otherworldly being of that, I am sure. And not to speak ill of you, Colt of Katani, but, you are, how to say, a few barbells short of a brave warrior at this point. Perhaps more stringent regimen would be better for you, just to bulk up a little bit. You are looking a bit gaunt, to say the least. And it will require a strong hand and noble courage, of which I know you have the latter. But the former, you must sharpen this blade, yeah?
I agree, Dagrin. However, we do want to try to do what we can to solve the problem. So we given our word to Lady Galante, and if it's something that we can't handle, then we'll have to contact her for help. But it's as chosen. I think it is our duty to at least try. I mean, I know as a soldier, sometimes you go in and you don't worry about fear because you ain't got no time for it.
As a noble words, and you hear kind of a cackle, kind of, oh, you're serious. And you hear Solomon, their bard, kind of cut in. He goes, oh, isn't that just delicious, Colt? Oh, to see the newly minted Seekers of Galante. Truly, what an inspired name. To see you all just reach out and have to call home to mommy when you can't cut it. I'm sure I would love to sing that song. It's always a joy to see those who've been elevated past simple baggage claim to fail on their first real adventure. Again, while I can't wait to hear this call to the good lady, I would warrant against it, perhaps. It might make you seem a bit cowardly. I would say yellow, but you're clearly red, so I don't want to insult you that further. You see, as he says this, Solomon kind of like chuckles and goes, yes, it's, it would be a shame, if it were to cost an arm for your mage. I suppose you need all the hands you can. And the pair of them like openly high five.
Dagrin, I say this with all due respect to you because I truly do respect you, but to the other two, it really doesn't bother me. You're saying this all in jest, and honestly, it really doesn't matter. You were in the same position, I believe, that we'd be in. If not, I mean, Chosen aren't just working for money; they're also working to do good in this world. And I'm not saying that y'all ran, but y'all didn't stand up and fight whatever was there to save or help the city. I'm trying to do that. And again, I say that with all due respect, Dagrin.
You say that, and Dagrin goes, "Oi, you are as a good hobgoblin, yeah? I have no disagreements or arrangements of such. Your honor is not in question to me, Colt Honeycutt. Well, Colt of Cut Honey, apologies. And you hear Mask kind of like cackle to himself again, wafts his blonde hair back and goes, "Oh yes, I have no doubt of your honor, to the prestigious seekers of Galanti. Now, tell me what transpired when you encountered that arsonist rumor I've been hearing about. You solved that problem and not ran away like cowards, right? Or are you so bold as to speak of others' failings and not your own?"
Oh,
To
we
be
didn't run from
fair,
the arson. Oh,
You
sorry.
know,
Go
to
ahead.
be fair, we didn't run from an arsonist. No, we actually saved someone on our first pass through the city, and then we had to meet up and head on our other job. I'm not quite sure what y'all's issue is with us. Maybe you're feeling a little intimidated now just by some newcomers, but it's whatever. All we wanted was some help, and thank you so much, Dagrin. We really appreciate it. But I think we really should be going.
The Solomon and Mask both kind of like look and smile to themselves, and Mask kind of puts his hands up and goes, "I just merely wanted to defend the situation. There are such weaving tales coming from Colt's lips that I wanted to avail myself of the truth, so we can assure that the truth is perpetrated across the city and the house. We wouldn't want the honors that the Seekers of Galanti have perpetrated to go unnoticed or unmarred. Truly a 1,000 apologies to be placed upon your head." And Dagrin kind of like shoots an angry glare. You can see that both Blair and Vix from their group are both like biting their lips and very much clenching their fists at just the kind of like aghast rudeness of their wizard and bard. Dagrin seems annoyed, but understands that these are just how these people are. And you can get the feeling that their name is holding true. While they are very good at working together, the Static are a number of people that very much disagree on a number of topics or how things should be handled. Dagrin looks to the pair of you and goes, "Yeah, so, well, we will do all that I can, and I hope that my answers were direct and as helpful as possible. Again, the energies that enshrouded this individual upon whatever it was that he opened or activated or befell him was truly a staggering event. Watching it then escape over the northeast horizon in almost the speed of wind itself and deposit itself down within the plummet, it created a beacon that you might have seen on your own adventures. It was a towering, cascading light of pure twilight. It was feverish in its design, and certainly I hope that you understand that even though you were given the choice of taking the most honorable route and truly the most, well, glory-filled run of what I can assume, is that you understand there are a number of dangers that await you, and certainly I wish you all the best. The blessings of all the weavers upon you. My friend Colt, I truly hope to see you again on the other side of this, eh?"
I agree, Dagrin, and good luck to you all. I mean this to all of you as well. I mean, I hold no ill will. I know y'all want to mess around, but I truly, sincerely, as chosen the Galanti estate, I truly mean that. I hope y'all succeed and come back in one piece so we can all drink and laugh about it later.
And as you say this, you see many of them nodding. Mask kind of clears his throat. He goes, "Yes, thank you, Colt." And you can see that he's kind of like chewing his bottom lip a little bit to look for the words, which is rare for a bard. And he kind of looks at you and he goes, "Well, at the end of the day, we're still Galanti. It's not as if we're something as pitiful as the Destra. So, go in good faith, my friend."
Thank you. You're all right about that. Those people suck. Anyway.
I'd rather be the worst of the best than the best of the worst, my friend.
I agree. Well, thank you again, all of you, and I'll go and I'll shake each one of their arms.
Yeah,
I'll offer my hand to each of them.
Yeah, Dagrin will definitely shake your hand, as well as Quillane, their leader. the rest of the group all kind of like, Lun kind of keeps to herself. She's a very like no touchy kind of person. Solomon will give like a slap to your hand, like more of like a high five. And Mask goes to reach for it, and you feel something wet hit your palm, and you hear a kind of a shifting of metal, and you see that a tongue erupted from his shield and licked your hand instead of him shaking it. And you kind of have this like slime, almost goo dripping from your fingertips. He goes, "Ooh, sorry about that, but that works, right?"
Works. That's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. But not the weirdest thing that's ever touched my hand. Anyway.
Oh, I'm sure not the weirdest that I've seen either. Anyway, and it kind of clear through. Blair doesn't shake hands as a general rule. Vic shakes your hand, and I need you to make me an athletics check.
Oh, I'm good at these.
Oh, it's over here. That's why. Find my roller.
15?
15. Okay, she rolls. Whoop. I'm gonna see if I can put this on screen so we know how this works. So I slide this
Your
over,
arm gets ripped off.
and she rolls a nat 20.
Join the club.
So you go in for a shake. She kind of cuffs you at the kind of forearm. As she kind of looks you over, you see one of her eyes have this like, she has 2 different colored eyes. And you can see that her right or her left eye glows with this like bright blue intensity, and she kind of like smirks, and she goes, "Best of luck to you as someone who is, well, trained enough to keep the rest of these idiots alive." And as she kind of like shakes your arm, there's definitely this like feeling of intensity, and you can feel like a very strong pressure on your forearm as she shakes it. For a moment, you feel as if your arm is going to pop out of socket when she like forcibly shakes your arm. And there definitely is, as you kind of weigh 1 to 1, a difference in like her physical might versus your physical might. You can definitely feel that she is like someone who does not skip a workout. Whereas you might be somebody who's like, well, I learned how to do poetry today. Like for her, it's like there's no off season. Like it's just all that. But you definitely feel that like heft and like trained grip from her, an intensity, if you will.
Thank you. All right, we got to be going. I'll just let go of that hair.
You let go of her arm. But yeah. Anything else you want to do while you're in front of the static?
No, JJ will shake their hands too. Whoever allows it.
Okay. Yeah. Same group of people as before. You note that even though she was very intense in shaking Colt's arm, Vix just decides not to. When it comes to you, JJ, she just kind of looks you up and down and goes, "I have nothing to learn about you. I'm sure your magic is exactly what it is. Try to keep this one alive." And she points to Colt.
It's honestly a little difficult, not gonna lie.
You as you kind of like mutter that, you hear Solomon like lean in, and he kind of goes, "I hear that's a story. Do you want to speak about how hard it is to keep him alive? I would love to tell about it. I'm thinking a play."
I think that's my story to tell.
Well, when are you going to do anything worth a story now? Come on. I write hundreds of songs. I have a ballad in the works. You've certainly seen my last performance that was completely funded by the lady. Of course, the harrowing adventures of the Static. Of course.
I don't think I have,
I
actually.
sent tickets to your rooms.
I don't
Everyone
think
was
I got
invited.
any. Oof.
Well,
I'm sorry. I didn't get a ticket.
I suppose it was
Maybe
a bit...
next time, sweetheart.
A bit too highbrow for you. I understand. Everyone's a critic. I understand.
Certainly, sweetie. All right. You ready, Colt?
Yep, I'm ready.
The pair of you move and rejoin your fellow compatriots at the table. And that's where you guys are.
JJ, why is it that all of these strong women are like really into me? What?
What's the other strong woman that's into you?
No one. Never mind. No one.
Uh-huh.
It's just this one, and Fortune. Fuck that guy.
I've grown fond of Fortune. I think everyone else here also has.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did what with Fortune?
Nothing.
He fucked
Wait,
that
what?
guy, is that-
It was a long trip, wasn't it? So lonely.
I see why the Static have the relationship with each other that they have. Sometimes I feel like daggering myself.
Well, just to let y'all know, that's the second person or group of people that expressed some extreme concern with where we were going. 'Cause
Listen,
that-
we should listen. What
Good.
I always did when I was a soldier, what I always did was if there was a task that was too much for us, we just didn't think about it because our captain told us, "Don't think about it, just do it." So we didn't think about it. We just went in there and almost died, and a lot of us died. But we'll be fine. Just don't think about it.
I'm going to think about the three uses in this wand, and which one of y'all is going to get them. So,
Well, I will also remind you the lady did let us know that failure is an option. Not one we want, but if we can't handle it, we, of course, may have to retreat. But I don't think we should focus on such negatives until we truly understand what we're facing. And it can't be that much worse than horrible shadows chasing us in the night.
Mr. Dagrin said something along the lines of demons.
Yeah.
Um,
Demons.
actually, I could always sell another year or two to our friend.
You're
And
gonna deal with demons by making more deals with demons.
he's not a demon, he's a devil. But he
Are you
might
sure
hear
about that?
some,
Because
hear
I'm
some
pretty sure he
rumbling.
called himself a demon once.
I think he called himself a devil.
Vasler has been
The
very
devil.
clear that he's not a devil.
Oh, he's a
He's a literal demon. I would tell
My
you to get
notes
that
are
demon
wrong.
off your back, but you can't.
My notes are wrong. Let me go amend all my notes.
Just because something made a deal with you doesn't mean it's a devil.
Yep. Not
I heard devil.
not
I
every
misheard.
not every deal is with a devil, and not every demon makes deals. So
Well, maybe our friend knows a little more.
Why don't we wait before we ask him? We'll get our own information first, and then before you
yeah.
decide to sell more of your soul, borrowing however much you've already rented out, we'll
Are you
get
talking
this
about
thing
your
It's
down
hair?
only a
first.
year. It's only a year so far. I'm young.
That's-
It's fine.
The year of your life, not so much the taint of your soul, but whatever. Who would I know? I'm just dwelling in darkness constantly.
Are you
Yeah.
trying to make a deal with your hair again?
Colt,
What woman
don't
isn't?
even. Don't even go there, Colt.
everyone
This
needs to deal with
started
their
because
hair.
of you.
Every morning we struggle.
I know your hair saved me. I'm very appreciative of it. Thank you, hair.
You
Vesler hair.
The back of like JJ's head twitches a little bit. Goes, hey, tell that guy to fuck off.
Colt, bless your heart.
That
you
is
can
not.
sense your
wait.
thirst,
What the
Colt.
fuck is that supposed to mean?
Oh, that's brilliant. You hear like a small twitch. You go, bless your heart.
Like, fuck
Oh,
you,
that's-
buddy.
Whoa, that's way more fun to
I don't
say.
like your hair anymore, JJ. Saved me that one time, but I don't
That's
like
so
it anymore.
rude.
Look,
Yeah, I mean, I can.
I've never
I
hit
won't
somebody.
even put it out into the world.
You
Won't
hear
even-
you can hear the hair speak up and goes, I've never hit somebody, but literally, bless your heart. That is hilarious.
I do what I can to amuse you, Vasily. But you know what? He says something about demons and Twilight and that thing that they kind of failed on, but also kind of just let happen. It's not like they could really do much about it. The guy kind of just poofed. But they said all sorts of grossness came out of the thing. They weren't really clear on what exactly.
Well, he said it was like a beam of
Are
light.
they talking about the beam of what now?
There was a beam of light. I
The
caught
one that
that
we
much.
saw?
Oh.
You know,
Actually, that makes a lot of fucking sense.
My
Ah,
goodness, this is
shit.
interesting
got
when
a
you connect the
shit.
dots, isn't it?
I got a shit memory. I almost forgot about that. I was too
Lem-
concentrated on that pillar of smoke and that story about a giant fish prince.
Well, that explains a few things now, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yeah. So there was like a beam of light, and yeah.
They weren't at Keen's Plummet. They said they were in the steam fields when this whatever happened with this person.
So I guess they were chasing counterfeiters all around that area, kinda. It's not terribly far, but I guess intel is that they were kind of working with some stuff out that over by Ken's Plummet too. I don't. It's confusing. I
That's
don't
fine.
know
We'll
their
put
whole
it all
story.
together.
But
Obviously, if someone as wise as Solomon couldn't figure it out, they really couldn't have too much to bring to us now, did they?
truly,
Also, they were real rude for no reason, except for Dagrin and that big lady Vix. She seemed nice.
she was
I
she was a
think-
little rude.
Lun was rude. That's shocking.
You know how
It's the one that
big
didn't
brothers
talk.
and sisters.
The mute is the meanest one because she just judges you.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Solomon's a complete ass. He's the second biggest ass wizard in this city.
Who's the first?
Dun, 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 dun.
Marcus.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Good
Marcus
to know.
Trillador's a complete piece of shit. I can't stand him.
a fucking door.
Yeah, there's a mage in the city known as Marcus Trillador. Many of you probably would know him or seen him around. He serves under the Destra family. He's a fellow chosen.
Right on.
But you know, these are the people we have to put up with in our line of work.
It's okay. We'll be all out of each other's hair soon enough. So, should we check in with the lady, or should we go ahead and head on down to the stables and wherever we're supposed to meet these folk?
I forget. Was our
Probably
our instruction was
to the
just to go
stables.
to the stables then, right?
Mm-hmm. You already have
Yeah.
your orders. They're already provided to
Yeah.
you, and everything should be waiting for you at the stables, already prepared.
Well, unless anyone has anything to bring to the lady's attention, I don't think we need to bother her this morning.
They were being real detailed about them plotting a course. I think you guys are right, and we probably should figure out which way we think is best. Maybe at this point, I don't know if
Dyewood,
that makes
Fort
sense.
Ebony, cross over to be south of Din Hollow, and then go south to Silverhearth. It's the most direct path.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, we're good there.
I've
Didn't
been
need
sitting
all
here
that.
this whole time looking at this map that Orville set out.
All right, sounds good to me.
All right. So you all finish your breakfast. I need everyone to roll. Oh, no, I don't have to roll. I already rolled it. Where's it at? Clickety clack. Clickety clackers. You all gain 6 temporary hit points for enjoying a well-made and artisan breakfast. Truly, it is divine. But after breakfast, are you guys heading straight to the stables?
Does anyone else have anything they need to do before we leave?
JJ's gonna grab all our stuff.
Okay. Pick up all your crap, load up with all your gear, everything you're taking with you for the journey ahead. If you leave it in your room, you will not have access to it during this journey or this arc. So how is-
Oh, I have one question. Actually, it was something I wanted to do on downtime, but I forgot because I was thinking about weight. Could I have the gold that I have turned over to platinum?
Yeah, that's easy enough.
Okay.
You can go to... Nope, not this one. Hold on. Wrong button. Let me pull it up here. You can go to Diara, who's the shopkeeper of Galanti that you bought Bucky's... I'm sorry, you bought Colt's plate armor from. You can go to her, and all currency exchanges are easy enough to do. So if you're
Cool.
burdened by the weight of your gold, you can turn them into that. You can even go a step further and start buying trade bars if you wanted to switch all your money to trade bars. You can do all that too. but that's a conversation for somebody else. Yeah.
Can I also slide in and do that as well?
Yeah, that's easy enough. Just update your sheets accordingly. I'm not your dad. I'm not gonna like spy on your D&D Beyond account and be like, this is gold on here, kiddo. Are you winning yet? I don't. Whatever
It's
works
just
for you.
that thing when you're carrying, like, I mean, I only had like 300 left, but I know some people still might have a couple thousand, and it's like, well, that's 100 pounds of gold. So how are you walking?
Just walking around. Just, all right, so I'm going to carry all my backpack stuff, but here's my coin pouch. All back of the cart kicks up, flies in the air. The horse goes flying. Easy to do, though. Any other final bits of business before you head to the stables?
How much is a mule
A mule?
and a cart?
Do you want an animal mule or a drug mule? Because they're very different prices.
An animal mule.
Oh, okay.
You can get a draft horse.
Let's see here. Let's do...
Clydesdale?
No, a draft horse. If you're gonna get a cart.
So you can get a donkey
Oh,
or
yeah.
a mule for 8 gold. You can get a draft
Okay.
horse for 50 gold, a riding horse for 75, or you can't buy one here, but there is a place in the world where you can buy elephants. And they're only 200 gold.
I'll buy a donkey and a cart, and then put Lamont tree on the
Okay.
cart.
All right. Easy enough to do. The shop makes arrangements for it to requisition the purchase. Being that it's just a donkey and like a small cart, go ahead and mark off the gold for it. The donkey is 8 gold, and then let me see. I don't have the cost for vehicles, mounts and vehicles. Let's see here. You gonna buy a wagon? Or no, cart. Here we go. A cart is 15 gold. It's a general cart. A little hitch wagon. Note, it is a cart, not a wagon, so you cannot ride in the cart. But the cart does have a carrying capacity weight. Or no, it weighs 200 pounds. So I think your donkey can pull that, right? Donkey or mule capacity 420 pounds. Yeah, donkey can pull that.
Sweet.
Put up to 220 pounds before that donkey gets real pissed off at you.
All right. Well, hopefully we find a place for Lamont before it gets that big.
Yeah, I mean that's how they get you though, right? It's like the donkey's cheap, but donkey food, fucked. Like, good luck, druid. Oh wait, you're a warlock. You're a liar, a phony. Any final bits of purchasing business or otherwise that you guys want to accomplish before heading out and into the stables?
JJ needs a canteen.
Needs a canteen. Easy to do. I think they're like a silver piece. Is that right?
Something like that.
Canteens, adventuring gear. This is everything I hate about live D&D, is doing the shopping part. Let's see here. Caltrops. You want to drink caltrops? Oh, hello, mosquito.
I don't think they have a canteen listed. I think it's water skin.
Oh, okay. That would probably be why. A water skin is 2 silver pieces.
Beautiful.
It can hold 5 pounds of water when it's full. It's crazy. It's a lot of water. It's a fuck ton of water. Anyone else? I'm just going to point out a spyglass worth more than 5 elephants.
I know.
Point that out
It's
there.
crazy.
Spyglass is 1,000 gold. I don't know why a spyglass is so expensive, but
What?
you could buy
Yeah.
literally a battalion of elephants or 1 spyglass. So every pirate lord you see, and I'm like, you want to loot them? And you're like, yeah, what do I find? Anything magical? Just, no, dude. Spyglass economy. Just loot their spyglass. It's worth more than your life.
That's almost as much as full plate mail.
Yeah, you're right. And it lets you see real far. Okay?
Oh, I may need one of those later.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
Well, I sure hope that you end up with plenty of money and also magical items to trade that nobody else benefits from.
Ooh. Oh, I didn't realize Vel ordered salt. Oh my god, here you go, Vel. Here's the salt you ordered. Sorry. Oh, delivered care of Colt Honeycutt. Oh, here you go, Colt. It's
Now,
a 1
you didn't
cube
let
of salt.
those horrible people at that other table give you any guff that you needed any help with, right?
Anyway,
Always bring the salty one.
I don't need rival NPCs when I have rivals they're my own group. It's great.
Anyway,
Anyway. Any final purchases, guys, before we move on?
No, I think I'm good.
No. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll do introductions and then we can go to break afterwards. All right. So I'm just trying to keep an eye on time so we're not like rushing to take a break for people. So you guys collect your sundry goods. Bucky, you can go pick up your cart and donkey. Right, donkey. At the stables, you all head down. You can see 3 large, and I mean large, caravans set up. A collection of... I have it here. Wait, where is it named? Yes. Yeah. 3 large wagons that are make up this caravan. Apologies. They are covered wagons. You can see that each one is pulled by a very large horse that's clad in red armored barding. Each of the horses grunt and kind of huff. And there's definitely like almost a sense that they're a little bit more vicious than you would expect from horses. They definitely give off the vibe of a well-trained animal. The odd thing is that you see the people who are tending to these wagons and still kind of like finishing loading on a number of barrels and crates and small sundries and bags are rather short. Many of them are lifting these very heavy looking cases over their head while only being about 2.5 foot tall themselves. Each of them is clad in these bright red scales with pale kind of luminescence echoing off of them. And they all wear like these very nice looking tabards with numbers 1 through 11 on their backs. And you can see as these kobolds continue to work and collect the various goods, there is a single orcish woman who commands over them, and you see her here, her jacket over her side, and a long kind of bladed weapon at her hip that seems to be slightly collapsible in a sense, but her heavy green jacket over her shoulder. She looks you all over, kind of narrows her vision a bit, and she stands up straight, appearing to be about 6'1" or so. She towers over most of you, and looks you all over and goes, "Hey, you there! Mightn't you be the Seekers of Gulanti?"
Yes, ma'am, that would be us.
Oh, that is
Bolt's going to adjust his armor and
tremendous.
dust himself off real fast. Oh, hello there.
She like narrows her eyes and looks at Colt and goes, "Did you just dust your crotch plate?"
No.
It's okay, I'm used
What?
to it.
Excuse me, miss, were you staring at his crotch?
Of course I was. It's shiny, look at it.
You hear that, Colt?
It's
I'm
a
going to high five Orville.
very low 5.
Low five.
She walks forward to you all and goes, "Who mightn't be your commanding officer?"
I think that's Captain Crotch right there.
"Oh, Crotchpiece. Well, Commander Codpiece, or Captain Codpiece, is it? I am
Colt
Helsa."
Honeycutt.
We decided that.
You said your name is Honeybutt?
Colt Honeycutt.
Honeycutt. Apologies, my ears are not what they used to be. Well, I am Helsa, and these is my trading company. We will be in your care for a number of dangers across the road. I understand we're heading for Silverhearth. Is that correct?
Yes. Mhm.
Well, isn't that great? We've got these wagons here, but I see you have your own cart as well. Mightn't this beast of burden be able to keep up?
Bucky?
Sure.
That's the mule is the one that's
Yeah.
dragging the cart. You think the thing's going to keep up?
Yeah, it's just carrying a tree. It's fine.
All right.
Okay.
What is it equipped with, might I ask?
Just a cart.
Just a cart, just a regular donkey?
Yep.
And you think that's going to keep up with the red hooves?
Probably.
All right. Well, we'll see. In the event that you lose your donkey, though, what would you wager on it?
What would I wager on the event I lose my donkey?
Correct. I say you lose your donkey within 45 minutes of travel. Do you want to wager that you would get further than 45 minutes? I'll place 2 platinum on the bet.
Oh, sure.
Very well, then.
But you can't kill it.
Oh, no, I shan't kill it. I'm just going to look forward to the sight of your donkey passing very far away from our caravan.
You don't happen to know Asta, do you?
Esta?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I've heard, but what might be the cause of this?
Okay, lovely. I'll take you up on that bet.
Well, very good then. 2 platinum it is.
Yes.
She smiles and goes for a shake of the hand with JJ.
She'll shake.
There we go. She looks at the rest of you and she goes, we'd only have a couple of rules here. If you do speak the language of the Dragonkin, I ask that you don't upon this voyage. I am trying to acclimate them to the common tongue. As well, I would seek that each of you keep your hands and feet to yourselves. Don't poke or prod any of my boys and gals, and there won't be a problem. Provided that you don't attempt to steal or do anything untoward, I think we will all get along swimmingly, yeah?
I agree.
Well, very then.
Sounds good.
Mr. Honeycutt, Captain Honeycutt, Captain Crotchplate Honeycutt.
Yep.
We'll have to figure that name out a little bit, huh? You need a longer title. But with that, we are ready to set, so long as 7. And she points out, and you see... She goes, I don't care about your life at this point. I want all of the crates on the cart. Go for it, on the wagon. Come on the double. And she, claps twice, and you see it, grumble and, lay its head low and, rush off. And you see it do this kind of run where its head is up, its arms are at its side, and it kind of, waddles like a lizard, running towards a collection of, one last crate that does it. And she goes, come on, 7. And she turns and looks to the group, and she goes, of course, apologies. 7 is a bit of the runt of the litter and tends to be a bit lackadaisical. You'll come to know them, but don't worry about them too much, yeah?
All right. Real fast. We had a route that we were planning on taking, but I don't know if you're familiar with traveling through to Silverhearth. Maybe you possibly know a better way?
Oh, a traveling merchant such as myself, owner of a trading company, knowing the best route to reach Silverhearth. No, I mean, I'm very welcoming to your expertise on the matter, Crotchplate.
Apologize, I was only inquiring.
I'm only inquiring.
Didn't mean to.
Do you polish it twice a day or 3 times?
At least 4 or 5.
4 or 5? Oh, you have quite the endurance.
I mean, you can find out, but
Oh,
that's up to you.
Perhaps. Business first, pleasure after.
Well, looks like there's a couple people
Yeah,
around here that
good.
need a hand.
What's
Oh,
Again, for rolling commentary during this game, join our Discord server and look at the subject line of it. You'll have fun with it. Links below. The About Us, you can click the picture. Join it today. Discord. But she again looks over and towers over the group, and she goes, Mike, do you have any final business that we need to attend to?
You guys need to do anything before we go?
no, sir, Mr. Captain Colt Honeycutt.
Listen, I'm not captain, all right? I didn't want to be captain.
You're captain for this goddamn journey.
Okay, all right. I
You
don't know if I'm cut out for it.
you hear Morgan kind of lean in to Colt, having been quiet for the most part, and he goes, maybe we just count this as like a trial run, and then if you fuck up really bad, I mean, at the worst case scenario, you die again. So, I mean, then we'll just pick someone else. Like, officially.
Yeah, that's fair. Wait, what?
Yeah, okay, well, if it's fair, then thanks. Like, Morgan
Good
goes,
point,
starts
Morgan.
climbing in the back of one of the wagons. And she goes, you hear her, shout out, and she just goes, I've got the back. And she steps in to the caravan. You see 7 come back, hefting this crate, and kind of wanders up and pushes it on the top of his head and then slides it level with the wagon, and then slowly does a small and kicks his feet to do a pull up onto the wagon and crawl in like a mouse. You see the rest of the kobolds kind of take their places, and you note that 2 and 4 are both ones that seem to be in a riding position. They each seem to have a secondary kobold that's sitting beside them on the bench. The remaining ones all seem to pile in the backs of these various wagons.
JJ will sit up with Bucky as he controls the donkey wagon.
All right, you're gonna. Well, the cart that he has cannot support somebody on it. The cart, though, the donkey can only pull 200 or 420 pounds. The cart by itself is 200 pounds. So if you sat in the cart with a potted plant, that's probably about 10 pounds. I mean, that poor donkey is not going that fast anyway.
You're gonna slap that donkey's butt and give it inspiration.
The donkey's going to do its absolute best to keep up.
Well, Captain Crotchplate or Madam Helsa, is there anywhere you would prefer me to be set up?
Well, you're more than able to pick wherever you'd like to sit. Just ask that you don't cause any trouble. Certainly keep your eyes and ears open. The Reds are pretty good at pointing out trouble, should we come across it. But I've been informed that your lady did not offer for the protection package. So we brought the Core 11 and myself. So we'll be expecting on you to deal with any unforeseen events across the roads, huh?
Oh, of course, the captain is excellent at throwing himself in the way of danger.
Oh, well,
And
good then.
I'll head to the front wagon then
Right.
to sit.
You enter into the wagon. You note that all of the cargo is loaded and actually tied down on various small hooked loops of like twine and rope, like knotted in certain places to kind of hold it to the sides. But there actually are like it's not like several, but it's one long kind of raised bit of wood that kind of segments each wagon to two sides. But that long piece of wood seems to be kind of like a seat. It's well polished. Seems like a number of the kobolds are kind of sitting on it and kicking their feet up and down. Kind of has a military build style to it.
Cool.
She looks to the rest of you and goes, well, if that'll be all then, I'll get things ready here. We'll get ready to leave this city. Sorry, apologies. Captain Honeycutt, you said about the journey. I am personally more apt to head a bit further south, if it pleases your captainship. After we check out of Fort Ebony, heading down to the crossroads and then cutting across the plains of Idrin might serve us better. Currently crossing two bodies of water while the winter is rolling in does not seem to be the best option in my professional opinion. But again, being that you have so picked out this journey, I will, of course, defer to you, O Captain, my captain.
I apologize. I didn't mean to assume that you didn't know a better route. We thought about. We didn't understand. I didn't fully understand what. Let's start over.
Okay.
I'm Colt Honeycutt.
Pleased to meet you. I am Helsa.
Hi, Elsa. Nice to meet you. So, I going back to what you were saying. I agree that that is a wonderful route. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm here to start swinging my sword and stuff and protect people if I can.
Oh, well. I do thank you for your confidence in me, and certainly I will try to make sure that it is a warranted bit of such. Provided that you all are able to protect us from anything that might be unseen, I will ensure that the journey goes, well, quite uneventfully, hopefully. I do understand we're reaching Silverhearth just before the winter fully crests and rolls in. I expect the journey to take us, well, by our standards, you're paid up for about a week or so, but realistically, I'd like to finish the journey in 3 days. If you all wouldn't mind keeping people awake in that sense, or at least leaving somebody on guard, yeah?
I mean, that sounds perfectly fine. We could take shifts if we need to.
Very good.
Or we will need to.
Again, I would ask that you keep all hands and anything valuable within the wagons. We don't want anyone to be left behind, and I desperately hate having to command an entire caravan to stop just for the fancies of one individual. My hope is to make it to Ebony before the mid-afternoon. We'll camp there, cross into near Wholesome Village, probably by the end of the second day, and then we'll be in Silverhearth before the morrow, huh?
Sounds good. I would like to just maybe Is there room in the first cart if I wanted to just purvey and make sure everything's, what's coming ahead, and
Or like a
because I'm
super
gonna
rat?
be the front. If there's any danger or anyone or anything strange, I'd probably be the one to check it out more than
Right.
likely. So
Well, yes, of course. Well, there's always a room in there, provided your ego will fit. I'll look forward to it, and certainly I can't wait to have you along, Captain Honeycutt. I can tell that you're definitely a man not to be trifled with, but a man that definitely knows his polish from his wax, huh?
yeah, I'm just gonna go up to the front cart.
All right. As you head up to the front cart, Helsa kind of looks to the rest of the group, to you all. Vel's already kind of found her way into it. Morgan's already found her way into a wagon. She goes, each of you are more than welcome to sit in any wagon that you choose. And she kind of like leans down a little bit and she goes, is he always, as your captain, so easy to bully? I do like to fluster men, but it seems he's a little bit easier to do so than others.
Strong women intimidate him.
Oh,
You can keep on with it.
okay.
The
Well,
story of Joel.
who the hell's Joel?
The story of Joel.
Who's this motherfucker?
Cold Honeycutt, the story of Joe.
The story of Joel, the Job story. She looks at the rest of it and she goes, very well then. As I said, so long as you keep your hands and feet inside the caravan at all times, I'll try to keep my hands to myself. It will be a bit fun to tease him though. He seems a bit green to be a captain already. I don't know if you want to inform him, but his sword is sheathed backwards. He might want to amend that.
Wonderful. What a shining example.
You see it all the time, huh? Well, as I said...
Orville's gonna lean in real quick.
Oh, yeah. She looks down.
It's like, so, if I don't keep my hands inside the cart, you won't keep your hands to yourself and possibly place them upon Honeycutt.
Oh, well, now that's the stick of it, isn't it? There's a chance that I place my hands upon him, or there's a chance that any of the Red Boys would place their hands upon you. And I can't say that you might leave with all your fingers and toes.
I mean, we're starting the journey without a few of them, so,
Well, rules are there
well,
for a reason, yeah?
I can see it.
Yeah. Well, so long as you can see it, then. If you have any other questions, I'll lobby them now. Otherwise, we'll set for Fort Ebony, make our camp early in the day, and then get a fresh start before the dawn of the second, eh?
Sounds good.
All right, then. Find yourselves a nice place. I'll get things settled here. And she turns, and you can hear her switch to a more kind of draconic language. And you hear, and as she kind of like yells out, you can see all the kobolds like straighten up and you hear them shifting around in the wagons. The four of them that are nestled in the second and third wagons, both kind of prep and get ready. And you see each of them kind of reach down in the front part of the wagons and pull up what looks like this like thrice twisted rope. And they kind of lay it over each other and tie themselves to the front of the wagon seat. And make preparation. And then the actual like drivers of each one dig through their tunic and produce what appear to be these like long looking swimmer goggles and slap them over the front of their face. And you can see them like kind of like jeweled looking goggles go through. As they both kind of reach down again, you then see each of them pull up what seems to be a long wooden stick with almost a half of a whip exuded from. The whips are black and have what appear to be a long kind of silver ingot crested at the very tip of the whip. And they go, yeah! And they hold it up here. Helsa moves to the front wagon, climbs aboard, doesn't tie herself down, but does prepare the kind of switch and waits for everyone to kind of find their seating.
Orville will take the middle carriage.
Okay.
Buck, you'll take the last carriage so you can keep an eye on the donkey.
Yep. Go into the last
Okay.
carriage.
JJ will just find space.
All right. JJ just finds anywhere she can fit in. So you hear her. She pulls from around her jacket, kind of like a long chain, and she starts putting on this dark green and like gold trim jacket. She covers up long sleeves and pulls this like long silver chain with what looks like a beaded whistle. She puts it into her lips, and you hear this long kind of high pitch blow through the area. In doing so, all three of these large kind of red armored horses knee up, and you hear them slam down, and you can hear this kind of like booming sound for a moment, and there's like a soft trot as she kind of clicks the whip up in the air above it. You hear them all follow like echoes, and the horses give a slow kind of trot while still in the city, and you can see them moving with a kind of a deftness of somebody in a full run while they're still kind of cantering. Let's call it here. We're going to take a break for 10 minutes. It is 8:45 right now. We will be back at 8:55. For everyone who is still watching with us, I do thank you so much for sticking with us. The next part of the journey in the story of the Seekers of Galanti begins now. So, with that, we will see you soon. Thank you for sticking with us after the break. There are 14 people according to Streamlabs. That's kind of crazy. Apparently we're doing something right. If we're entertaining, thanks. Again, mid-roll shout out. Like us on, or subscribe to us on YouTube to stay current if you want to do the rewatches with a bunch of edits. Oftentimes I can cut out like 30 minutes to an hour out of an episode, so it makes it for a little bit of an easier view, because we cut the breaks, we cut the opening, we cut the ending, we cut a bunch of different weird stuff just so that you get like just the straight dope, as Colville would say. As well, again, join us on Discord to stay up to date. There's live GIF reactions that happen from the players of the game. So if you want to see goofy crap or how they're feeling at any given time, join the Discord. It's fun. If you're on mobile devices, the link for the Discord will not be readily available. You instead have to go down to the About section. If you're watching us, there'll be a picture of a skeleton with a big big blonde wig. If you click that picture, it'll give you a link to the Discord to join. You just have to open that link in a web browser on your phone. So if you have an Android device, when you first open it, it will try to open it in the Twitch app as a subsidiary. You just have to click the top right corner with 3 dots, go down to open in browser, and then it'll activate your Discord invite. So feel free to join us. We do going live notifications. There's a lot of stuff in there. If you have questions or just to share like cool artwork or character artwork, interact with people, etc., it'd be cool. We have enough people where I think we have like 77 or 78 people that watch the Twitch channel. So that's a lot. To me, it's a lot. So if you want to interact with more people, that's the way to do it. If you ever want to know in case someone's sick, injured, etc., and can't make it, we'll start posting it in there. As well, if there's ever a reason, again, for us to like miss a week, we'll post it in there just so people are aware of what the hubbub is and you get answers. All right, cool. Boom. Wait, hold on. YouTube. So when we last left before break, the group had met Helsa and the Red Talon trading company. A group of 12 individuals possessed of 11 red kobolds and 1 orcish woman. She look like this. Heyo. They have now joined the caravan of 3 wagons drawn by 3 red armored horses that seem to have an aura about them, seemingly above normal horses. They seem very well trained. In just a small, soft canter, they're already moving faster than most people can safely and deftly move or run. They're edging on that. Bucky, I need you to roll me a d20. What for? Who knows? Who knows what it could be for?
3.
3. As the caravan makes its way from the Galanti estate towards the southeast exit of the city, through the Gromaton area, very quickly. In fact, within minutes, there is a e-oaring sound from behind the wagons. As you can see, this donkey trying its best and running at full speed, carrying a cart containing a single potted plant as best as it can. You hear, and it's biting at its bit, trying to move as quickly as possible. But it is, at this point, about 2 city blocks away from the caravan.
All right. I'm gonna tell them to slow down for a minute so I can get my donkey and get this plant settled.
All right, you tell one of the kobolds to slow down. And you kind of mention it. You hear, and they go and they kind of like chain of command pass it all the way through. And eventually, for those of you in the front wagon, you hear Helsa kind of look at one of the kobolds as it squawks at her, and she goes, "Someone fell down. Oh, hold on." And she blows the whistle twice and pulls in on the reins. All three horses stop in the middle of the street. The heat and steam of Gromaton kind of sits heavy on the area. She's like, "Oh, couldn't have picked a worse time to be stopping and falling off." And she hops out of the wagon and steps down and looks around. And she looks over and like goes to the first wagon, peeks her head and goes, "Everyone okay in here?"
Yes.
All right. She walks to the second wagon. Is everyone okay in here?
Yes.
Seems like it.
All right. She goes to the third wagon. She goes, "You're all still in here. Who fell off?" And she shouts, and or who fell down. And she looks over, and one of the kobolds kind of goes, goes, "Slow down, stopping even. What are we stopping for here?" She looks for answers.
Looks like you won that bet, man.
Oh, so happy for myself. Might I suggest if you need to transport that plant, we can just add it to the manifesto. I won't even charge you for it. How's that?
That'll probably work. I'm gonna send this donkey off and be on our way.
Right then. See that you attend to it. The donkey is slowly catching back up. She stops near the second wagon and kind of pulls the flap up and looks around. She goes, "Where's the ears?" She goes to the front wagon and opens it up and looks at JJ and goes, "I'll be having that 2 platinum."
JJ's gonna reach inside of her coin purse and hand it over.
And she takes it and kind of rubs the 2 coins together. And she goes, "Oh, there's nothing better sounding in the world than someone else's money, I'll tell you that. Would you happen to like to bet on something else? Perhaps the weather or, I don't know, global events? Oh, the over-under on whether or not your captain falls desperately, madly in love with me." And she looks directly at Colt when she says this. Because he's in the first
Bucky's
wagon.
like, "I'll take
I'm in
that."
the first
JJ's
cart.
just
Yeah,
gonna
she's in the first cart,
stare.
too.
She's gonna stare into the abyss, basically, and her ear's just gonna twitch.
Stop looking at me.
Don't bet, JJ. Don't bet on the falling in love thing. I can't resist.
I can't hear any of y'all right now.
JJ does the Easter thing, just bends her ears down, just goes, "I don't want to hear these anymore." her shifter self is just like, "I'm good with this." Easy enough to do. She kind of like looks you up and down and goes, "Well, if you happen to have any other particular requests or bets you're wanting to make, any wagers, please feel free. My coin purse is over full with all the people who have ever doubted me."
You hear that, Morgan?
Morgan is already like sitting in the last wagon and goes, "Hear what?" And then her ear twitches and she goes, "How did you hear that?"
Good question.
"You're getting really odd there, Buckaroo." And cuts back to the first wagon. And she, Helsa kind of like just nods to JJ, winks at Colt, and gives a thumbs up to Vel, and then walks forward and takes her position back at the driver's seat. Another blow of the whistle. And you hear all the whips kind of crack one after another. The horses insert kind of again going into a soft canter. Before too long, only a few minutes, you guys pass out of Gromaton. There's a small stop as she reaches the gates of the city. She shows off a number of rolled documentation from within her jacket pocket, and the guards kind of bid her farewell. They again, a number of people say blessings on your travels and blessings of the weavers upon you, and she nods as she does so, and she begins to cross out of the city of Deerwood. Let me pull this up here so I can do this. Whoop. As she crosses out, and you guys can see my pointer, she crosses out from the threshold of Deerwood. You hear her shout out loud enough for everyone to hear, "Hold on to your seats, otherwise you won't be collected afterwards." As she says that, you see all of the kobolds immediately grip very hard on the sides of the wooden seating. Their claws, their blackened claws, digging and graining into the wood. You can see a number of spots where kobold claws have sunk into the wood before. They seem to hold their butts clenched. Anything you guys want to do to prep?
I will also clench my butt.
Okay.
Same.
Butt
I
clenched.
will grab hold with my arm.
Okay. You reach with your one arm. Colt, you gonna just sit there?
Yeah, probably.
All right. You see Morgan kind of reach down and like grip the seat from where she's at. The whistle is blown 3 times. You hear, "Whoo, whoo, whoo," and you hear the whip crack 3 times overhead. All the horses rear up, and you can hear this large kind of as they slam down. You hear this booming sound, and it kind of echoes out and moves through each of the carts. You immediately feel a lurching as the wagons are pulled and propelled by some unseen force. And for anyone who is looking out, like Colt or the rest of you, you note that the horses, as they slam down, there is a bolt of arcane energy that erupts out from the base of their hooves, and each of the 3 horses begins to float about a little under 3 inches to 4 inches above the surface of the ground. And as they lurch forward and rush into a full sprint from Held, everything kind of like lurches forward. You all grip as best you can. Those of you clenching, you slide a little bit in your seats, and you feel these things take off like a bat out of hell, propelled by, again, some type of magical enhancement on the horses. They begin galloping and rushing through, and in almost a blink of an eye, you've cleared a little under a mile in just a few seconds. These things begin to go into a full sprint and full gallop, and you begin your journey easily, leaving first thing in the morning to the afternoon. After the initial lurch, many of the wagons, you guys kind of adjust to the cabin as well. And you can see a number of the kobolds like unhook their claws from the seating and begin to kind of walk around a little bit steadier than most of the wagons. And many of them start kind of like bickering or discussing things in their draconian language. But yeah, anything you guys want to be doing during the journey? Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop.
No,
Pass.
Bucky's just gonna
particular.
say nice things to the Lamont tree.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you did load the Lamont tree and you sent your donkey back to the estate?
Yep.
Okay. We'll hand wave that. That's fine. You find a beggar and he goes, "I'll do it for a beer." And you're like, "Yeah, there you go." Easy to do. You begin heading further southward and crossing through the northern hollow woods, continuing at quite a breakneck speed. Any of you who are like peering out, you're literally seeing like the landscape pull from you. The day moves from early morning to mid-afternoon and begins to teeter on into the evening by the time you can see the stones of the where am I here? Yeah, the Ravani range. Apologies. You can see the kind of makings of it and the split, the kind of dug out and scaped mountain range that leads a path up the mountains. You can see, for those of you who are perceptive enough and keeping a watch out, you can see other vehicles being pulled, some by donkeys, others by horses, are almost like a soft blur as your caravan begins to kind of charge through, aided by this kind of gust of zephyr that each of the horses possesses. You soon cross into the boundary of the mountain range, and this once kind of snaking, weaving path seems to be nothing of concern, as this woman and her kobolds manage to very easily progress around this narrow path. Leading into the evening, there doesn't seem to be any trouble for the first leg of your journey. You come into view of, on the other side of the mountains, you come into view of a large kind of spiraling tower and a number of very heavy set structures bearing a number of military iconography. And in doing so, I need Orville. Orville, please roll me a d12. 2? All right. So as it leads into the evening, nothing out of the ordinary or unexpected occurs in the journey. You arrive very quickly, in fact, the day feeling more like a blur than anything else. Is the horses begin to slow down back into a kind of running canter. You do feel many of them kind of like land, and you can feel the wagons kind of begin to slow down tremendously. Whatever seems to have propelled throughout much of the day seems to be kind of wearing off as it reaches a little bit later into the afternoon. The area of Fort Ebony is again clad as a military outpost. You do see as your caravan arrives, these large kind of wooden gates reinforced with iron and steel standing closed, and you can see a garrison of individuals clad in armor bearing the sigils of Silverhearth. This kind of, it almost looks like a campfire, series of logs, and a bright platinum flame adorned across the front of their armor. You hear them calling down, goes, "Traveler, proceed to the front gate, and we'll have an inspection of your manifesto. Provided you're not bringing anything illegal into Silverhearth, you'll be on your way as quick as possible." And you hear Helsa kind of call out, goes, We're seeking a bit of shelter for the evening, as there might be a place to circle the wagons." You hear, "Aye, should it be permitted, we'll find a place for you." Goes, "Thank you, sir." And she like slows down the wagons down to like almost a crawl. The horses are huffing very loudly at this point. Many of them tired from the journey ahead, or the journey made. The caravan is brought within kind of a way station. You see a number of guards kind of like look over, take some paperwork from Helsa, and begin to kind of, again, flip like a side of the covered wagons and kind of look you all over. And they do like a bit of a roll call. So you hear from the front cart, they go, "Are you any of the people listed here?" And they call out each of your names: Colt, JJ, Bucky, Morgan, Vel, Orville. They also call out numbers 1 through 11, and Helsa herself, all making sure that the people who are traveling in this caravan are accounted for. And they count all of the crates, and after a quick inspection, nothing seems to be out of the ordinary that they can find. And they kind of move you on through the gate. You note that each of them is clad, again, in very fine made plate mail, adorned with the crest of Silverhearth itself, emblazoned across the front of their armor, their breastplate. And many of them are wearing what looks like a standard issue shield and sword, very well equipped. And it does seem as if while they are the entry into the bordering areas of Ravon, they are very well equipped to repel anyone who might be a posed threat to the nation. Whereas Deerwood and the area of Hunter's Reach, where you all are from, is kind of safe in the idea that many of the people who live there are the adventuring class and those who are chosen or otherwise seekers of things. Many of the people here do seem a bit more mundane and more stringent on their rules and regulations to protect the common folk and common people. But over the course of roughly about a day's journey, about 8 hours or so on the road, give or take, a little under probably closer to 6 just for that distance at the speed she can go. You all do find an area that's open. A number of other wagons, carts, and travelers seem adorned in various small campsites. There are a number of patrolling guards that are kind of motioning and making sure people are sectioned off from each other, just so that merchants aren't like moseying on, or anyone who's having any type of revelry for the evening or getting ready for such won't be a bother to other people. You do note that Helsa does speak with one of the guards and hands over what appears to be about 5 gold pieces. And the guard kind of nods her along and then directs her to a section of land where the 3 wagons can circle up. After that, she begins, you see many of the kobolds like hop out without so much as like a second worry, and begin to not so much unload but prepare the wagons for bedding for the evening. They unhitch the horses and start getting ready. Helsa flips over and open the side of each wagon, letting you know that you guys have arrived for the evening at the campsite within Fort Ebony. And she kind of gives you all a once over to kind of come in and come out, stretch your legs. She kind of gives a little bit of a check. She looks you all over and goes, Might and you all have any issues with the travel so far?
No, no, ma'am. It's been quite pleasant so far.
Good. We want to make sure that our investments are very well accounted for. So, yeah. You're not resting on me there, Armor, are you? She looks over at Colt.
No, I had a. It was a pleasant ride. It was a little faster than I expected. Never been on something so fast, but it was lovely.
I can tell you everything involved in the company is quite as fast. So, you might as well get used to it, huh?
Okay, yeah.
But then
Is it supposed to mean something?
It's called flirting.
she walks
Doing it
around.
much better than you are.
She walks around and starts preparing like small little tents for the kobolds. You can see many of them have like these. They almost look like they're not so much tents per se as they are like a like what looks like a cat bed with like a small little like teepee cone at the top. And she kind of just like pulls them out from the storage, flicks them, and they kind of unfold and pop into place. And they look like, again, they're like little like teepee huts, but like with a big padded pillow on the bottom. And each one is numbered 1 through 11. She herself pulls out a cot and kind of unfurls it, sets up the 4 legs, and plants it right in the middle of the wagons. She looks to you all and goes, well, might as well get as much shut-eye as you're able. I want to leave before the crack of dawn, so don't tire yourselves out with too much partying or exploring if you could. If also one of you could be responsible and keep an eye out for us, that way myself and the rest of the boys might be able to get a bit of well-needed rest for the day's journey ahead. And as she says this, Morgan kind of looks over the rest of the group and goes, I'll do that. That's fine. If you guys want to walk around or stretch your legs, I don't really need it, so.
I think I'm all right as well. Might as well get into a pattern, especially since some of us are gonna have to be up at night.
Bucky starts playing his pan flute.
You start playing your pan flute. Give me a performance check.
A 21.
21. You start playing your pan flute quite well. As you do so, you see some of the red boys walk up to you, specifically numbers 8, 7, and 10, all walk to you. And they kind of like slowly kind of like walk up, their arms at their sides, and they kind of almost snake walk themselves forward. As you start kind of playing, they all start like bobbing their heads in unison, and you see them kind of like one of them kind of like starts kind of clapping its claws together and making a clapping sound. The other one reaches into its little like satchel pack and pulls out what appears to be a black piece of charcoal. And you see it go and like sniffer it into its teeth, and you see like a little bit of a click and a light, and it slowly starts kind of glowing, and it goes and just holding it forward, kind of like rocking it side to side with your pan flute.
Love it.
Very good. Anyone else want to do anything while you're here?
JJ's gonna read some of her book, but then also start transcribing some of their stories.
Okay, yeah. Start writing the tales of the Seekers of Galanti. Colt, Orville, Vel, anything you guys want to be accomplishing or doing during the first night? Or leading into the first night, I should say.
I want to do a little bit of painting on my mask.
Painting?
On my new mask, yeah.
You produce this large kind of white porcelain mask and black oil slick paint, and you begin to paint a design upon your mask. Do you want to share with do you want to share with the class of what you're painting there, friend?
For the moment, it's just going to be a thick black line down the center.
Okay.
Bisecting it.
Oh, like this? Or just in the middle? Like right down the front?
Just like right down the middle, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just
not creepy at all. That's fine.
Nope.
All right. Anyone else want to be doing anything here?
I'm gonna go take a look at the horses, not get too close, but see if I can identify like what allows them to do what they're doing.
Sure. Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
It's 14.
All right, 14. You look over the horses and you see beneath the kind of red armor, as many of the kobolds have already pulled the armor from the horses to allow them to relax while they're asleep. Many of them just appear to be standard war horses for the most part. The bigger thing that you note is you can see as one of the horses is already laying on its side and kind of tucking its feet down. You can see that each of them is kind of adorned in these almost like dusted. They're covered in glitter. It looks like they are horseshoes that seem to be made out of some type of silverish metal. Each one glittering with a twinkle. If you'd like, you can tell just by your Arcana training that these are some type of magical attunement to these horses. But you can roll Arcana to kind of get more of a confirmation as to what you think they do.
15.
15. You would know that kind of just looking it over and kind of putting over the information you've gained from this. Clearly, these horseshoes allow these allow the horses that are in the company for the Talons to not only kind of run on air, but also allow them to kind of move at a much quicker speed without becoming too terribly exhausted. The thing you do note, though, is there might be some type of combination to this and the barding that is used on these horses, as when you look across this red armor and really kind of get a good look at it, as you can see a number of the kobolds currently possessed of polishing and maintaining this barding as best as possible. There are kind of like signs and sigils across their banded red armor that would assume a number of like intricacies with arcane that have to do with endurance and constitution, almost like some type of fortification that is built into their armor. Your assumption with a 15 is that the combination of these two items allows these well-trained warhorses to perform feats that seem to be not just superhuman, but definitely like above the standard class of horses.
Cool.
So yeah, there's that. Colt, Orville's painting. Colt, anything you want to be doing?
I might just take like a stroll and just see if I hear any rumors around from. This is a typical fort. It's just full of soldiers, right?
Typical fort is full of soldiers. You guys are actually technically not in the fort.
Okay, so we're outside of the
the
fort.
stone and iron made building is kind of like a bit to the north of you. You guys are kind of standing at a bit of a crossroads between the north and the south. What you are more at is like, if you've ever seen like a training yard in any stereotypical thing, they do kind of the same thing for visitors of military bases, where it's just an open yard where travelers can bed down for the evening. It's not like an inn or anything of that sort that's built onto this fort, because obviously it's a fort, not like a full establishment. But you're in like an open yard. Think of like if you park at like a strawberry festival or anything at like the fairgrounds here in Florida, where they kind of park your car and then you kind of have room on either side. So like if you wanted to tailgate, you could. It's kind of the same thing here. It's like you're effectively in like the Fort Ebony parking lot, and they've given you like a small little zoned area for your company, and you're kind of at like the RV meet, like all the other merchants and stuff that are either heading northward to Deerwood or southward deeper into the Ravon area. That is kind of where you're at right now. So most of the people who are around here, you do see armored individuals that are clearly soldiers and guards of Silverhearth that are patrolling, and many of them are getting ready to light lanterns and kind of patrol the area just to make sure everyone's on the up and up and no one's trying to sneak into the fort or do anything untoward to anyone else. But you do note many of the different sections are just various degrees of rundown wagons to fanciful wagons to various travelers of all shapes, sizes, and denominations. So if you wanted to walk around, you could, and I could describe some of the people who are closest to your campsite. If not, let me know. Easy to do.
I'll just do a small circle, like around our campsite, just to listen in on any conversation that might be going on or anything like that,
Of course.
without being too noticeable.
Sure. So give me two checks. First, give me Stealth check, so you can appear to be unnoticed in your plate mail.
Not gonna do that.
Okay. There's a 20 on every die. You roll 2 20s right now, and I just eat crow.
I've done it. It's
17 and 20 are my totals, so 17.
So 17. Very good. Again, disadvantage is disadvantage, guys. You can still roll good. Then give me a perception check, as you just want to kind of look over the area.
13.
13. Okay. You look over the area. You note a number of the wagons and carts near you are rather kind of covered up or otherwise kind of getting ready for the evening. You do note, you said you got a 13 perception?
Mhm.
Okay. You note 3 individuals, 3 different groups that are set up. You see a small gnomish woman with a kind of a rainbow set of hair, like multicolored hair atop her head, wearing heavy set goggles, currently fiddling with what appears to be a large kind of brass sphere. The campsite that she's at seems to have a fully metal cart, and you don't actually see any animal around that would have pulled this very heavy cart, being that she herself is rather vertically challenged, to say the least. It's kind of curious to see that no one is really there's no animal at her campsite that would pull such a heavy thing. There are a number of very heavy looking lead boxes and crates that are stacked in her cart. The next person you see is a single wagon that has a pointed tip that runs the length of it, purple curtains, and large kind of gold draping beadery. You see a number of people dressed in very fanciful looking robes that kind of have a number of scintillating colors, as well as kind of respectful dress. All of the women have coverings and shawls and shawms that very much cover the majority of them. As you walk by, however, you do see a woman, rather old, ailing, clad in a glittering white robe with a hood pulled up and very noticeable bright white bone earrings. She stares at you as you kind of make your pass. And she softly kind of opens her mouth as if to speak. And you can hear her kind of seeming to try to say something, but is not able to muster volume for you to hear it from what you rolled for perception. And the third cart you see is a number of, or 2 wagons. They are black clad with kind of sigils of what looks like red crimson smoke running along them. It almost looks as if there's a design upon the tops of their covered wagons bearing that of a dragon, breathing fire across the tops of their wagons. The individuals that you see are, again, very heavily covered, all of them wearing black dyed armor made mostly of leather from what you can tell. And each of them seems to be kind of busying themselves with a small cooking fire. Sat in the middle of it is a woman who is, at first you think she might be a tiefling, but you're not quite sure. You don't really see horns on her. But she is of a more ruddy skin with large kind of protrusions, almost looking of bone, coming from her face. And in her hand, she's holding what appears to be a lantern, but just at a passing glance, you can't really see further than that. It just has a weird, almost fainting glow, unlike fire should have. And those are the 3 things you see. If you want to investigate further, let me know.
I'd probably want to investigate if I notice that woman trying to grab my attention in any way, even if she doesn't say anything. I'd probably stop and see if she was what she had to say.
As I have described, 3 women. Oh, okay.
Oh, the little old woman that you said couldn't speak in the white robe and everything.
Yeah. Okay. So you head back to the second area as you kind of do a small sweep. You walk back and you kind of look and stare at her. She kind of again points slightly at you, and a long kind of bone-like finger beckons you towards. You can see that many of the people who are among her wagoned area, again, are dressed very fancifully, and many of them are now setting up what at first appeared to be like the beginning of a cooking fire. As you kind of look a little bit more closely at their camp, they're actually pouring what appears to be various powders and glitters into their fire. And you can see as the fire is struck, it is illuminating into this kind of weird, almost white and twilight fire kind of crackles with this brilliance of various different soft chromatic colors that kind of trail off the middle of their fire. Many of them setting up long cloth benches made of silks, and begin to pull out various instruments and such to fill their campsite. But the woman does kind of point this, the old woman puts a boned finger in your direction, and I have her image here. Let me pull this up. Please hold while your DM refreshes. For everyone who likes the stream, hi guys, what's up? Hope you're having fun. Thanks. All right, and then I gotta pull this up here. Boop. There we go. All right. So the old woman who is pointing in your direction looks like a this.
Yeah, I'll approach.
Okay. You approach the older woman. Many of the individuals at the kind of in the congregation kind of look at you, many giving you a parting smile or like kind of trying to meet your eye with a curious glance. As you walk through the camp, you eventually arrive at the seated bench where this old woman is sitting, and you hear her voice kind of open and be very raspy, almost like a whisper in a sense. And you hear, you there, you have a weight, a burden that you have felt. Tell me, child, has your soul reached the other side, and what have you seen of it?
Unfortunately, yes. I don't know if it was a hallucination, but I saw some my soldiers from my old company that passed. That's what I saw. I don't remember much of it though.
You sorrowful summer's child, there is no shame in reaching the other side. It is a gift and a burden for you to wear, but I can see that it holds heavy upon your soul. There is something that you regret?
Something that I regret. Yes. Yes, there is.
Perhaps my eyes are not so old that they cannot still see when there is a burden upon one such as young as yourself. Tell me, are you possessed of great purpose?
I like to think so, but I don't think I've found my true. I think I found the beginning of my calling, but I don't know if I've reached my full potential in that sense.
Very true of many who wander this world. Tell me, child of summer, bounding man of the great beyond, might you wish to know your purpose and divine the truth of your world?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Very good. I can only ask, of course, of a generous donation should you enjoy what I am able to divine for you. Might I see your hand, plain as it is, no glove, and I will look into your palm to see what might be seen.
Right. I'll take off my gauntlet and present my hand.
So she looks over your hand and she goes, "Oh, what is it that you wish to know of your path, your purpose? I see so much here. You have a strong headline, a powerful and deep heartline, perhaps a new relationship forming?"
No.
Oh,
I don't know yet.
well,
Maybe.
perhaps you will read that for later. Here at the base of your palm, your fate line, as you can see, there is a split in the groove. Clearly, where you reach the other side, it was preordained, and yet I see another split, perhaps yet to occur. Your sun line as well is soft, a curious thing of one such as yourself, so possessed of life. And your lifeline, in truth, is deep-rooted within your palm. A strong man you are, possessed of great constitution and fortitude. Of this I can see no doubts in. Tell me, what is it you wish to know of your journey?
Can I ask a question that doesn't pertain to my fate? Is that possible to see?
I cannot see the fates or fortunes of those not before me, but I can see your aura. It is thrown against the sea of uncertainty. With your palm before me, I can discern some truth of your purpose in this world, or of what might come to pass for you alone.
Will I meet my end soon?
Oh, now that is not for me to say here, but I will say this at the very least. You, in your grasp, hold the strength and might of earthen hands. I can see this very easily. Your hands are firm, solid, and possessed of strong flesh. I definitely can see here that you are one predominantly concerned with the practical, the logistical, the grounded, but you are quick to believe others. While you are secure and reliable, I believe you might be far too consumed with your immediate reality, which might ultimately hinder your long-term planning or achievements you hope to accomplish. As far as for your end, I cannot say. There is something preordained in your palm here. She points to an area of your palm where there's a split in the lines. She goes, there will be a decision, a choice in your future that could result in the tapering off of your life, or perhaps the beginning of one anew. But that choice will be yours and yours alone, and I do not believe that it is for me to see or say at this point. I wish not to alter what could be or could come to pass.
Well, I do appreciate it. I don't know what to say. I guess I'm gonna die again and come back, maybe.
Such changes are not often that radical, but it is not unheard of. I can tell here from your calluses that you're a warrior, possessed of some good strength. I can see now, even deeper into your journey, there will come a time where you must draw your sword in the defense of the others, and if you are unable to do so, they could fall, and you will be left alone, as you have been left alone before.
Don't want that.
Many seldom do. She looks again, she goes, tell me, young man, mightn't you be an individual who seeks to change the course of history?
Well, of course. I mean, for the better.
Well, what better is better, I suppose, is the question on the table. Very good, then. I see many great things and potentials and possibilities for you. Might you seek them out and truly understand the world in which you are patrolling? May you guard that which you care for, and might you seek beyond what is seen. And she releases your palm after that.
Right, that was intense. Well, I I don't know how much gold to offer you or what I could offer you that would be fair for something so personal. Um, would I hope that this would suffice, and I'll offer her 20 gold.
Okay. You kind of pull up 20 gold, and she reaches down and produces a small kind of like, almost like tin can with like brass wrappings around it. And she holds it up and collects your coin and like very shakily feels the weight of it and sets it down and goes, I could see across your future you are generous, and truly you have proven it here today. Might I impart a warning to you, an omen that I can discern from it?
Yes, of course.
Yes. On blackened wings, in fevered pitch, a murder will occur to you. It is in your best interest to decide if you are a man of action or a man of self-preservation. I can say nothing else than that. Reflect on this, young one, and might you return a more fulfilled person.
Thank you. My name's Colt Honeycutt. I didn't catch your name.
I did not offer it, but in exchange for what you have provided, I will provide my own. I am known among my congregation as the Lady Farista.
Well, very nice to meet you, Lady Barista. I appreciate what you've offered me, the knowledge that you've given. Maybe our travels will cross once again, and maybe I'll have come to a resolution, and I can tell you all about it.
Well, I shall hopefully seek to hear of you as sung by many in taverns and bards and on the whispers of the winds. Might you come across other children of the Romani, I ask that you look upon us with a smile and understanding that we are here for everyone's benefit.
I agree. Of course.
You are still fledgling. Might you grow into the man you have yet to become. I see great things ahead for you.
Thank you again. And I'll stand up and wave a hand, I guess.
Okay. So you stand up, you walk away, and then go like wave goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay. You stand up. Many of the other Romani in the circle kind of like look you over curiously. As you kind of turn at the exit of like their area, you turn, look, and there's no old woman. There's just a tin can and brass rings sitting alone on a stool. And many of the people who are in like the convergence kind of look you over and like seem very, very confused as to what you just did. Because you're not quite sure why, but the woman seems to be a bit more spry than you had expected.
Is that what Colt thinks? Or
Yeah, clearly she ran away, right?
Oh yeah, you're right.
That little lady like hopped up and disappeared. She's like, I got his gold.
All right, yeah, I'll just head back to the area now.
Okay, you head back to the area. So for everyone else, you guys busy yourselves among your various painting, reading, pipe flutes, and overall relaxation of the area. As afternoon peels into night, are you guys going to establish a watch? Or do you trust the area well enough to not keep watch?
I think we should set a watch.
Yeah, JJ's gonna go ahead and take watch for night
Oh,
time.
JJ, that's not really your decision. It's the captain's.
I
Good grief, Phil. Are you gonna drop this or what? Like, I didn't even pick it, all right? I didn't want to be captain.
Move your mic closer to your mouth.
I didn't want to be captain, all right?
There you go.
Colt, if you can't take my ribbings, you certainly won't be able to handle that orc woman's.
Listen, I've already stated what I needed to state. I'm afraid of women, especially strong ones. Y'all freak me the fuck out, all right? You, Morvale, JJ, Warden, goddamn this lady, Vix.
Well then, what perfect practice for you to actually, come across as a much more strong individual. Come on now.
I'm strong.
Man up.
Weak of mind. I learned this when I met with an old woman.
Good lord.
You learned this when you mumbled off.
Yeah, your voice is like trailing.
Your mic keeps cutting in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna eat it. Is this too much?
It's better, but it's like it's like going in and out. It's weird.
It's not volume. It's like every
like
other word is
a
not
robot.
even being sent.
Yeah. Beep boop. Boop boop beep boop. Bop,
Oh.
bop.
I think I turned on that cursing thing. Is that better?
Yeah, that's way better. Slightly better.
That's the whole thing.
Oh, now it's way worse.
It's not better.
Welcome to me every time I stream and my RTX goes to shit. It's literally the worst.
I don't know.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there it
There
is.
you go, you
There
fixed
it is.
Okay,
Yeah, perfect.
I learned that when I met with an old woman.
There you go.
Was she a strong old woman?
What?
Were you confident in speaking to her?
I mean, no.
All right, we have a lot of things to work on.
Listen,
But
I just
am
swing
still
a
going to
sword.
give you shit because that's what I do. It's fun. It's how I get enjoyment.
Vel's love language is
Captain.
vicious mockery. Right. So, what do you guys want to set up for your first watch? Your first night on the road? Who's the first one? We're going to split it into 3. JJ goes for
JJ.
first watch. Anyone else joining first watch?
Bucky.
Bucky. Anyone else going for first watch? No? Okay. Second watch. Who's going? Morgan volunteers.
I'll join.
Okay. Morgan and Orville. Anyone else want to join for second watch? No. Third watch. Who wants to go? Colt
And me.
and Vel. Okay. Seems good to me. So
It's our usual actual.
yeah,
I
it's your
think.
usual. I think it's like your
Yeah.
default at this point. So you all set up around the campsite and kind of keep watch intermittently. You see a number of the kobolds move their little tented beds in a like circle around the orcish woman's cot, and they all crawl into these soft spaces. You see many of them kind of like lunge and like do a full quadruped like run, and then kind of leap forward and get their hips stuck because they have kind of like a more wide set bottom and their tail at the opening to these like little igloo cushioned areas, and they slowly kind of wiggle and then finally poop and slide into their little nesting homes for the night. For the rest of you, for starting us off, Bucky and JJ, you have the first watch. The pair of you begin your watch while the rest of the group begins to kind of settle in for the evening. I need Bucky. Roll a d12.
That's a 4.
A 4? Okay. For the pair of you, go ahead and roll me a perception check. A 1, JJ. Your eyelids are so heavy, you fall asleep during your watch. Bucky,
Got an 18.
18. You note JJ, for a time, is keeping watch with the rest of you. She's being attentive, but every so often the yawns start to creep in. And eventually she kind of starts closing her eyes and like, blinks a few times, then closes her eyes. Her ears droop a little bit. And before long, you do note that your watch partner has kind of fallen asleep on her feet. You look out across the area. You see a number of people settling in, most people telling tall tales among their various caravans, others getting ready for a late dinner or setting up their watches of their own, some of them setting up torches and the like. The area is partially illuminated. The fort itself has a number of large kind of pyres set along the boundaries of its walls, so it's not completely dark, but definitely is like more of a low light situation. With an 18, you look across, you can see some people meeting together at a number of caravans, specifically about 2 rows over from your current position. You see a large golden topped wagon where a number of people seem to be kind of moving forward, and you can hear echoes of music emanating from that wagon. Campsite, rather, it is. Parking area. We'll figure out words and vocab. I need a thesaurus for next Christmas. But past that, you don't notice anything else. Anything you want to do, Bucky?
Bucky tries to remember the tunes that he heard.
Sure. Give me a... Let's see here. What would it be? That's good. It's memory. Just do me an intelligence check. That's fine. Yeah, straight up intelligence. See if we can memorize the tune.
I got a 20.
20. Yeah, you get most of the melody together. They're definitely playing with more than one kind of bard performing. And you can hear the kind of soft melody cut through. Someone is singing, but you can't make out the words from this distance. But overall, you do pick out majority of the song. So if you want to write down that you know the melody of the golden coat, then you can put that down on your sheet. Past that, your time passes. The second watch arises of Morgan and Orville as Bucky returns to sleep and JJ remains asleep, sitting at one of her positions near one of the wagons. Orville, anything you want to do?
Not really. Gonna like keep a lookout. Maybe make a few circles around the camp every 30 minutes or so.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a d12.
D12. That's a 10.
A 10. You keep a lookout for the most part, just making sure you have a good kind of monitoring area. With your dark vision and passive perception, you know that festivities near the golden wagon seem to kind of die down later into the evening, especially more into your watch as it reaches kind of the dead of night. You see the breaking of cloud coverage, and after you finish your circle, you see Morgan kind of trailing off or more or less staring into the distance and horizon. She kind of sees you approach and goes, "Do you see that?" and points out. You can see far off in the distance past the kind of roaring bonfires of the walls. Far to the southeast, there is a break of clouds, and you can see the moon hanging far off into the distance into the open sky. And the moon seems to have a coil of what appears to be this kind of green emerald sort of glow creeping up and encroaching along the southern edge of the moon.
Curious. Would I know anything about that?
You can roll
Like
history, arcana, insight. You pick. Nature. Pick a skill. Pick any skill you think would be relevant.
Insight looks good to me.
Insight. Are you trained in it?
Yes.
Don't roll. You're good. The moon should not be green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Guaranteed.
That ain't natural.
Not natural. That ain't normal.
Something not right with that sky rock there.
Yeah, you can see it almost with this ethereal looking glow. It's not like too dissimilar from the normal brightness of the moon, but it is rather peculiar. As you look straight up into the air, you can see kind of a dense cloud coverage. And just from your area and time, kind of Ravam itself, you know that the kind of country itself and the plains are often more of a dust bowl, and they're not always heavy with rain. The open plains and area that it is possessed of, it's not frequent to see so much cloud coverage and rain, but when it is, it is like an event. It's curious that the moon itself, for all the clouds in the sky right now, is completely segmented. There are no clouds that seem to move anywhere within the radius of the moon itself.
Yeah, that's weird as shit. Orville's gonna make note of that and let our third watch chew on that fact for a little bit.
Okay. Time passes. Your watch ends. The third watch arrives. Colt and Vel, you are awakened. Or Vel, you've already been awake at this point for a little bit. You kind of get up and are informed that JJ is asleep next to a wagon from Morgan, and something is wrong with the moon. As Orville and Morgan try to report this to you, you look in the direction that they've pointed, and the moon has been obscured by a very dense amount of cloud coverage. The glowing light that they seem to explain or otherwise describe to you seems to be no longer within vision, and it's not so bright that it pierces the clouds themselves.
Would I be able to make an arcana or history on the concept of something like that happening to the moon?
Sure. What you want to go for?
History.
History. Roll history.
Ooh, 10.
10. In the retelling of history that you've read and what you've been kind of taught as a high elf, the moon has always been in the domain of the sky itself, and the realm weavers had placed it with very little interaction. The moon has always been, of course, its bright, brilliant white, a reflection of the sun across all of the Everwield. But with this, there isn't anything that you can think of, whether it be story or tale, as to what would contribute to a anomaly or event like this.
Well, that certainly is strange. I suppose we'll keep our eye on the moon for trouble in the future as well.
All right. With that, Orville, Morgan heads to rest. You heading to rest as well, Orville?
Yes.
Okie dokie. Vel and Colt. Let's have Vel roll it. Vel, roll a d12.
3.
3. Okay. I need both of you to roll perception checks as you keep watch. What'd you get, Vel?
5.
Dope. Colt?
12.
12. Awesome. You guys keep an eye out around the various areas of the campsite. For the most part, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. You continue your watch more and more all around the various areas. You continue to look across the open air and sky and fail to see anything. Truly, the day begins to blend into a bit of night, and nothing is ever out of the ordinary for many of you, except for Bucky. Bucky, as you dream and you sleep and you begin to feel the various presences of your life weigh heavily on you, there is a cascade, a motion, a movement that begins to intrude and deep roots take hold within your mind. A dream of you, finding yourself amid darkness, a familiar sensation of grass leaves feeling against your hooves and brushing against the ankle fur that you still hold from your satyr legs. You can feel something tight grip hold in your chest, and you can feel a presence, or rather multiple presences, heat. You look around and take in your area, and you seem to be in an opened area, a grove of sorts. As you take in your surroundings, you can hear water, yet you do not see it. You can feel a breeze, but you do not fully understand in which direction it is blowing. And then you feel the heat, fire in all directions, burning in the various cardinal directions from your position. As you begin to carefully look around and try to make sense of this, you note in the very center of the grove a budding plant, a long, trailing vine that has erupted from the soft-tilled earth in the area. You see beside it a filled bucket, a long-drawn hoe, clippers, and shears. As well, you note the presence of a long obsidian knife sat upon a flat stone. What would you like to do?
I'll approach the knife.
Okay. You approach the knife, and there is definitely a presence as you innately, instinctually move towards this item. The others seem to fall apart. They begin to lose their color, their focus. They become blurred to your vision as if they were never truly there before erupting into fading autumn leaves that then trail off with this unknowable wind from your vision. You stand before this and you feel your vision tunnel and focus in on this stone and knife, this obsidian-made dagger, seemingly naturally formed and cut and carved by a life well worn and used. There's something that draws you to it. You can feel a weight, a heft, and you become very, very aware of your body circulating blood within your very form, your essence. You hear a whisper deep within your mind's eye that is carried throughout the wind itself, or perhaps all around you at once. You hear, "It must be fed. It must take hold. All that you are must be used for the good of all." What do you want to do?
What should I feed this thing? I'm gonna make a slice into my hand and let the blood fall onto the stone.
Okay. You move forward and you kind of cut the palm of your hand. You see this obsidian dagger trail across the side of your hand. The cut is clean immediately. And yet, even though your skin tears and cuts, you do not feel anything rushing to the surface. There is no warmth. There is no blood. There is no injury or pain. In fact, there is a sensation that a task has been completed without prodding or pushing, as if something deep rooted within your very nature has caused you to make this decision, not dissimilar from your own will, but pushing you in a direction. You instinctually set the knife back upon the stone, and as you reach your hand out, you can see this collection of vines in the very center of this budding area. And as you reach your hand forward, your sliced palm hanging over this collection of vines, they erupt. They reach forward and wrap around your wrist. You can feel a paining sensation as a number of thorns begin to dig deep into your wrist and around your hand. You feel one twist and lightly press against the wound, this cut opening into your palm. And before long, it thrusts itself deep within the grip of your hand. Make me a charisma saving throw.
That's at 23.
23. You feel this pressure deep within your palm, as if invading your body, yet welcomed all the same. It seeks with a presence unknowable yet familiar, very much to yourself. And again, the voice beckons your attention as this begins to worm its way deep within your arm. You can hear this voice. You were chosen, a planter pot to walk the Everwield, to distill my mercy across the land, and to awaken another emergent one. Know your place, that why you draw from the natural primordial magics as I allow it, that you are a seeker as you have thusly named yourself, but forget not your place and service to this matron, for your true calling is to seek habitable ground, that we might rise forward and save this realm once more. Is that understood, my potted one? Whoop, whoop.
Of course.
All right, give me 1 second. This motherfucking thing shorted out on me at the worst time, like it always does. There we go. As you say, of course, it goes, so it is known, and so we have an understanding. I will permit you to continue your journey, but know your place, walking one. Know that why you have been chosen is beyond that of the fancies of the speakered ones, that the earth itself and the might of the great root runs within you. Your purpose is possessed of a higher thing than those who jest at your behest. Find suitable soil. Begin the next emergent. Become something greater than that of flesh and blood which you wield, and all that I am will be yours at but a touch and a poke and a prod. I will be watching. I will be sensing. I will be growing. And with that, you feel the presence leave you. You can feel the rip of the vines tear free from the soil, and as you look to the palm of your hand, there is a coiled, ivy-looking design, a print across your hand, this tightness of a grip, almost as if you have worn a bracelet far too tight for yourself, yet where you look at the pallor of your flesh and of your hand itself, you can see only this twisting, vined, and thorny pattern that weaves amidst your fingers and around your wrist. The pattern coils in the very center as if a coiling storm or snake of itself, and it slowly shifts its pattern as you stare upon it. You awaken, the same as you were, yet the design, clad in green, plastered across your main hand. With that, let's see here, I think it's this. Yeah! Woohoo! With that, everyone, you gain the benefits of a long rest. Bucky, you awaken much in the same. The folks on watch, nothing out of the ordinary to report. And that'll conclude the long rest leading into day 2. As we are at time for our 10 o'clock show? Game? I don't know. Weird shit. That is
Game
where we'll...
show.
Yeah, it's a game show. That's where we'll stop. For everyone here, we thank you guys for tuning in with us for the evening. We'll be back at it again for the next game episode. I don't know. Words are really hard to describe this because it's not like a production. These are just my friends and I running Dungeons and Dragons. Not professionals, and all my voices kind of sound the same. So suck it. I'm not good at this. But tune in next week for the continuation of our journey here. For more adventures within Second Wake, the ongoing thing here. Boop, 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 boop. Let's find somebody to raid. Let's find out here. Arcadium is going. They have 4.6 thousand viewers. F that. Well, let's find somebody small.
Our friends from Fae Fiends and friends are up again.
Oh,
You
are
wanna
they?
raid them? Yeah.
Are they up? No, I don't see them up.
Yeah. No, I gave them a follow. That it says they're live in my.
Oh, I have it. I have it here. I see him. Okay. Cool, yeah, we'll do Fae Fiends and Friends. So we'll do that here. Boop. There we go. We'll do that here. We're gonna do this. Or is it slash? Raid. Hold on. And their name. Alright. Hold on. I think I did it wrong. I have to click it. There we go. And then click and that. All right, so for everyone who stuck around for the whole night, we certainly thank you guys so much for sticking with us. Hopefully you guys had fun. The VOD will be up, hopefully, fingers crossed, depending how busy we get my job. The VOD should be up this week regardless. The very least, hopefully tomorrow, if not like Thursday-ish. So keep that in mind. We'll be back on probably end of the week for some kind of video game shenanigans so people can keep earning points and keep depositing their points so they're not bound to that 2,000 point limit that curses Jeff Bezos limits. Hopefully everyone had fun. Hope you guys had a good night, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.